back to the dev hour and just kind of talk about season 5, how it is, and just like all the things that are up to come. I'll mention some of the things at the end of it that I know that are going to be changed, but they didn't mention in the English version anyway. Like they mentioned it in the Korean version, and there's still like some points that will like impact like all the other regions too. I don't know why they didn't mention everything, but yeah, we're just gonna do this. So yeah,
it's your good friend.
Okay, it's good. Let me just turn that down for you guys. We're gonna just put it down.
Aesop here with
I'm hoping it's good.
Here to bring you the season 5 preview of Eternal Return.
Okay, so like some of it I'll just be skipping over just because
yesterday. Don't spoil it if you've watched it so far. So we're gonna keep it.
Yeah, okay. Some of it I've already gone over, and I'm just gonna skip through it because we don't need to see it.
Everything coming in season 5.
We'll just skip it over.
Recap a bit of what happened in season 4, and we're going to talk at the end. Hold your questions, please. Hold your questions until the end. We're going to
we'll just keep skipping because nothing's important here. Okay.
Survey that you may have answered. We'll touch on those as well throughout the presentation, throughout the entire stream. So overall,
actually, maybe you guys can't understand it. I'll go a little bit slower.
Bear with me because I'm not a streamer, and we.
Okay, because there's a lot of rambling on the stream, so we don't want to go over everything. Okay, then let's just skip.
And some of the stuff is actually coming.
Okay, so this is what was. I'll just pause the stream just because I want to put my own input here, obviously. So this is what's happened in season 4. There's augments added, the year pass, the snow map. Okay, the snow map. I don't know why they mentioned the snow map here, just because it lasted like 2 weeks. Okay, and we're not like seeing it again, so I don't know why I mentioned it. Lobby improvements. You can see here a bunch of other stuff that was changed. I don't know why my computer keeps doing this. I'm sorry. And like in the skins, like these 2 skins will be out in season 4, but I think they just came out today. So yeah, and then there's the characters, weapon types, arcana.
Improved on in season 5 as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like these are like.
I downloaded this annotation especially for the stream so I could do this.
Okay, sure, whatever.
We're gonna have
I'm hoping there's more map UI improvements or like optimization improvements. I hope there's more matchmaking changes because a lot of new players complain about matchmaking, and I totally understand that. Like there's just issues with newer players being matched with like higher players, and there's like the way they do things, it doesn't work in North America compared to Korea, because matchmaking there is actually fine because you have enough of a player base to actually separate the tiers, so you'll be actually matched with people. Sure, it'll take a little longer because I did a stream a bunch of like me playing in Korea from a fresh account, and like at the beginning stages of it, it would. Can you stop popping? The beginning stages of the account, I actually had to wait like 5 to 10 minutes in queue for a new game, but it was actually with like new players. So yeah, I don't know, but here like you're gonna be waiting like half an hour to like an hour if you wanted something like that. So hopefully they do fix the new stuff.
Right, you know, because everybody loves fishing minigames. I just made that up. So yeah, we're really going into the future of Eternal Return. It's
okay. Can you
the future.
Anything else?
As you may have known, a few weeks ago.
Okay, yeah. I'll just let him explain here. Sorry, I want to interrupt here.
I threw out a little survey to see kind of to get the feeling of what you guys were up to. So the overall feelings of Eternal Return, it's pretty positive. People enjoy the game, they have fun, they like it, they love it, they need it, they can't live without it. So that's.
Okay, so I did the survey myself, so I'll give my own thoughts on this as well. I put it as an A. I enjoy the game a lot. It's very unique. There's like really no other game like it, and so it's like I enjoy the game. I would like to continue playing it. There's just a few things that they need to work on that will make the game a lot better. So
the general feelings of the game, a lot of the feedback we got where, you know, they like the game, it's fun, and it's
yeah, I agree, it is quite fun.
Proof, but it's a yes. So as you can see, 80 bananas. So we did so yeah, this is out of 10 of course. So So 1
Okay, out of 10.
being, I'd hate a turn return to 10 out of 10.
Yes, that's what generally 1 10. Okay,
It's a nice little curve.
we're gonna move on.
They're also a lot of 1.
Okay, the balance of the game. Okay, I really am. I don't think the balance of the game is that good across all modes and across all tiers. The lowest tier, I would not too familiar with bronze and even like low silver balance wise, because I don't play at that elo, so I'm not as familiar with the balancing at that state. But like just everywhere else, like for me playing duos, for me playing solos, different characters and like different things, I can tell like the balance of the game is not top tier. I honestly think, this is my opinion of it, but the balance is like a 1 out of 10 right now. Just there's been characters who have been top tier for so long that it's, I don't know, it's just not like, I don't know, if you've had like, say like Sylvia's been top 10 for all the seasons since season 1. Like if you have a character who's able to get top 10 in rankings, this is actually Korea, so like these are, I'd say, quote unquote more important stats to them, just because it's a larger player base. And so if you have someone able to get top 10 with Sylvia each season, it just tells you that like that character is actually like really unbalanced and they need to work on it. And augments have helped Sylvia. I can do a whole rant about Sylvia, but like the augments have helped her a lot. And so, but yeah, there's just other characters, even like Lennox was really strong last season and still like really strong this season, and a lot of people complain about her. And then we have Adela. Adela's strong in all modes and she's not received nerfs for any of the modes. So yeah, I don't know, I just hope the game balance would be a bit better, or they look at different regions as well. Or I don't know what they do, to be honest. I'm not a dev, so I can't speak on that.
So this kind of shows that we should do that better, which I will also talk a little bit about in the Devour. But there are some disparity between regions. Some things in Korea,
yes, regions, I agree,
as hated as they are in America.
Yeah, that's true.
The West, there are different opinions between players. Some people think Red Sprite's cool. Some people are like, delete this stupid offense. Some people are like,
okay, who thought Red Sprite was a good idea? Honestly, I don't think anyone thought Red Sprite was a good idea. It's just, it's the amp version of Frailty. That's what it was, without like obviously not the French shred part, just the initial burst. That's what it is, and it's a bad mechanic just because it only, Frailty is already a bad idea, so they nerfed Frailty, but then they introduced an augment that was basically Frailty 2.0, right? So it's not a good idea, and the people that may like it may be like the flat amp abusers. I don't know. So
it's different. So it's tough to kind of nail down a precise overall consensus. So it is something we're working on, and I will touch a little bit on that. But on the flip side, the design of the characters, art, and skills. Now this is where we're killing it. This is where you guys.
Okay, just another thought here. I've heard from some feedback from people that they thought it was like the design as in like the art style. So when they voted this, they were only thinking of like, oh, the design of the character as in like, oh, I like the art of the character. Like they should have split this question into 2 parts, because the design, like the skill design of a character versus the art design of the character is like 2 completely separate things. Like they aren't related at all. Like they need their own scales for it. Like the designs of the characters, I looked at this as like the whole season, not just season 4, and there's been like some, like the newer characters overall have like somewhat of a good design. I'd say like the worst design, like skill base, would be May, just because her playstyle is very boring and not really interactive for this game. Like having a shield that will negate all auto attackers that only do 1 damage to her is kind of a bad design. And like some of the older characters are just like copy paste of like League characters I've heard, or like Dota characters. I don't play those games, so but that's what I hear from other people. And with the art design, I really like the art overall. There's some nitpicks I can do with a few art characters, like examples base skin Lennox. I really don't like the basic in Linux, or at least like the art, like the 2D, or you can do with like the thumbnails and such. I don't really like it, but the everything else about it, it's like, so I put it as like a 5 as like the balance between the skills and art, because I really like the art and the skills. Like they're getting better, but there's still like flaws with like past characters. So yeah, I'm just give that.
It's blowing it down. Art and skills, it's just a straight up, you know. I think some people that answer this, they kind of took the design and skills along with the balance. They said, you know, I like the characters. I wish that.
I mean, okay. I mean, the skills and okay, the skills of a character does relate in balance. You can't say they're separate. Like the kit of a character will definitely impact its balance. Like they go hand in hand. That's why people took both, because you can't separate them. They have to be together.
So, you know, things like that. But the art, the skills, you guys are loving it. So I think at least it's nice to know that we're doing something in the right direction. You know, game, cool. Skills, design, cool. Balance, okay, yeah, okay. We're gonna work on this. This is going to be
please work on the balance for season 5, please. I will be a lot happier playing this game if the balance is worked on.
Issues that arise with the Battle Royale MOBA kind of mix, you know, where we have multiple modes, multiple balancing, things like that. You know, Johan, for example, in solo, he's a team mode character, and in solo, he's not going to work. He will very likely just be balanced around team modes.
I'll talk more about Johan later, but Johan is a team mode character. I'll just foreshadow, they're basically making team modes a more casual mode. So what's the point of designing a team modes character if you're just going to make that mode more casual and not for like a competitive audience? I don't know. Like, if your main mode's going to be solos, you should have all the characters at least viable in solos. They don't have to be top tier. They have to just be playable and like not just a rat character or the trap character. Like all Johan does is run away, make double guillotines, and like set a final circle in solos. But any character can do that, and they can do that a lot better. Like Barbara does it, Magnus does it. There's just a lot of like Isol does it. Like there's so many characters that just do like make traps, not interact with anyone until final circle, and then just win, right? So Johan's just not a good. I guess that I'd say this is not a good design character for this type of game. That's all.
Issues, you know, things like that, but we're gonna do our best to try and work on them. But we're gonna keep destroying it with the design and skills because they're so good. You see that Dragon Dance Lee Dylinskin? Come on.
Yeah, that's the art of the character, not the skills.
Right, so,
but okay.
Also in the survey, you guys had some questions. I will have some answers. A lot of the questions, not a lot of them, some of them, more than I'd like to see, were why dev's so dumb, and that, you know, and that's putting it nicely. I can't answer to why I'm dumb. You know, I went to I went to college, but you know, we're trying our best out here. So yeah, so some of the questions we got that I'd like to answer quickly from the beginning that we are going to
kind of well, I'll go through each question here as well.
That I saw. These were a couple repeats, a couple things that were
my question did not get answered here, by the way. I
frequently asked questions.
The only one I went for, though, I guess the ones that were repeated.
Yes and no. So
if you say yes and no, your answer is no. Okay, please. Yes and no means no. Okay, move on.
The balance team has they focus on balance. That's their focus. They take the data. They'll collaborate with other members of other teams. They kind of gather feedback, or they'll look at feedback that we've gathered. We talk about it. We discuss it. So yeah, there's a balance team, but they're not. It's not called the balance team. It's more like the core play team that I'm a member of. So it's kind of the.
So it's not a balance team. If they're official balance team, no. You literally just answered the question. Okay, it's not yes or no. If it's a core team or whatever, it's not a team solely focused on balance, then it's not a balance team.
They're like designated for balance, but it's not like the official balance team. They all play the game. I have to talk to them at the office, and when I go to one of their desks and they're playing the game, and I'm like, well, I guess so I kind of stand behind them awkwardly for a couple minutes, and then they get a kill. I'm like, okay, what's this ending anytime soon? Then I have to go back to my desk, and then I come back to their desk, and then they queued up again. I'm like, I missed the window, and so it's kind of, you know, everything. Okay, so which I will. So done. Got any final changes? That's kind of what I just answered. You know, we look at the data, we collaborate, feedback, everything.
Okay, I don't know if those are the same answers, or like this answered with this exactly, but we'll just say okay. We'll just like okay.
Things like new player help. How can we help new players? Some people suggested things like new player account buffs. You know, give them an extra inventory slot or larger radius.
Okay, but I'll just say my input on this. Giving new players like some advantages like this is not a good idea, because then I'll set the stage for new players that this is what you should expect from the game when it's not what you're actually going to be getting. And so having them have an extra inventory slot, they may think, oh look, once I'm like not a quote unquote new player, I'm suddenly have one less inventory slot, and it may mess up like their whole build or like their whole plan and throw them off a lot. Or if they have more vision, they may be like, oh, I just got killed off screen now, when before I know that someone was there, right? It's not, setting new players to have a different expectation of the game is not a good standard to have. Just my take on it.
Are helpful, but in the long run can tend to be more harmful.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do, I will touch on later for some new players. You know, changes to tutorials, changes to battle pass things, more intuitive UI, more intuitive gameplay, things like that. How do you pick a character for cadets in each season? It is a lot. It's not like, oh, this character was played a lot, so this is the skin. This character was played a lot in season 4.
I don't know the answers to this. I actually didn't hear this part.
More of people come up with some ideas, some themes. We discuss it. We talk about it. We have like a little competition to see which one wins, and then we'll kind of go with that. It's not just like, there's not like, okay, well, Keanu was playing 1,500 million games this today, so we're gonna make that one.
Okay, so it's basically chosen at random. That is basically what he's saying.
A new weapon. New weapons, I'll talk about a little bit more in the rest of the stream, but mostly no for a while.
No, okay. That's unfortunate.
I'll touch more on that in a little bit as to why, but not mostly no. There's a couple things that, but
yeah,
we'll see.
We're just skipping on. He's just no. That's the answer. Move on.
You want to add to the game of scraps? There was a lot. I don't know if you guys remember the whole quantum jump debacle. If you guys remember quantum jump, that was giving everybody, you know, flash instant. Whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this, and you guys roll.
Giving everyone a free flash does not sound like a good idea for this game. It could, yeah. I see why they scrapped it. That's understandable.
Like, don't do that. Don't do that. What are you doing? And we're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna not do that. So things like that we've gotten rid of. There are also a ton of things that, you know, we're gonna have not fat Shukai skin. We got rid of it. Just kidding. As for the not fat Shukai skin. What is wrong with me? I forget how to speak.
Okay, can we just move on? Okay, so basically the way, I'm just gonna skip this just to sum it up. Basically saying that everyone's, when they see Shukai, they see like a fat body and they're like, oh, that's Shukai. But if they made him skin, they're like, oh wait, is that Shukai? Like, it's not on instant reaction that you know it's a Shukai. That's all. That's literally the answer. So we're gonna move on.
Why is Ace Up so cool? Good question. He is not. Will the devs
simplify
some things such as stats or loot distribution? Yes, I will talk about that more in this preview. There are some things.
That's honestly really good, because I was actually going to work on a loot distribution video coming up, but then I saw this like thing and they're going to change loot distribution, so I'm going to hold off on that video until season 5 when the new update, because I'm not going to work on a video and then just for it to be outdated like 2 weeks later. So
or kind of simplifying loot distribution. We're going to kind of revamp the UI, and
I don't know what they mean by simplify stats though, but sure.
New zones, no. New map. Yes.
The new map's only for the new mode, by the way. It's not actually for the solos or duos or squads.
Details on the new mode. Soon. There's a bunch of new stuff. I will show you the map. I'll show you all about it. So you gotta make sure you stick around for that, because tell us more about time frames.
Okay, move on.
We think it only takes 2 weeks to make a cool character. From start to finish, a character takes about 5 to 6 months to make. It takes from the conception, the design, to the concept, to the model, to the effects, to the skills, to the initial balance, about 6 to 7 months.
Okay.
Characters we started working on now, you won't see until the summer. It's insane. The 2 months, or sorry, 2 weeks time frame that we have had, every 2 weeks new character, we are going to slow that down a bit.
Okay.
I will talk.
That's one thing that everyone's been asking for, is to make, instead of doing characters like every other week, just do it like once a month, like a new character. And it looks like they're going to do something like that. They haven't said the exact time frame, but people just wanted them to slow down, and that's what they're doing, which is a good change. So
a little bit about that as well, why we're slowing it down. So
they can focus like other stuff on the game.
And a couple other questions. All right, I'll address it. Where JP? Where Arda? Where Rosalio? So,
I'm actually curious about this answer too.
JP has hacking. Hacking is his thing. It's hard to implement hacking, to bring it over from Immortal Soul.
Yeah, so implementing hacking, I understand, but where's like Arda and
art for JP has been
Rosalio?
Since before I started, and I started at the beginning. Like, it was like here when I got here. So he's something we want to do. It's just a matter of getting him in. Arda and Rosalio.
Yeah.
We've had ideas and concepts and designs for who they are, what they do, but nothing has really clicked. Arda, you know, he's archaeologist. He can't use books because that's kind of Sua's thing. He can't really use like shoveling and stuff like that, because that's more of kind of in tune with ISIL. So there's not really.
What do you mean? ISIL has. I'm so confused. Why does ISIL have stuff to do with shoveling? Like, he places traps. Is it just because, oh, I use a shovel to hide the traps under the ground? I don't understand. Sure, Sua and books, I understand that, but I think ISIL's theme's more traps or like placing bombs and such than it is shovels. I know he has a shovel, like I know that's part of his model, but I think it's fine. Like, you could do a distinction between that, but okay, I don't know.
A great niche for them in Eternal Return yet. So
this is at 1.5 times speed.
Another baseball guy. So it's,
yes, just do another baseball guy. There's multiple roles in baseball. You can have someone who throws the ball and someone who hits the ball. Just make Rosalio a bat character, which is what I think people thought was going to happen with them anyway. William was going to be the throw, Rosalio is going to be the batter. Great, makes sense.
Stuff that we are working on and trying to carve out a nice place for them, but it's tricky. It's tricky, and it's not a matter of like what weapons they can use. It's more of like overreaching theme of what they are, how they do.
Doesn't matter if you have two baseball characters. I don't think so, because they're actually supposed to be brothers. So
optimization things we're talking about as well, like colorblind feature that's coming, but we don't want that to kind of take a hit to the optimization.
Okay, I thought they said the colorblind feature was going to be coming like months ago. Like, I swear I remember in the patch that they were going to add it in like late October, maybe it was late November, and it still hasn't come up. So I don't know exactly what happened or like what made it pushed back so far, but I swear it was a lot earlier, or like they said it would be a lot earlier, but I don't know.
Optimization took a hit from that, which it kind of did in our testing, and things like that. So we're kind of keeping an eye on that as well. So we do have our problems. One of which being, of course, the tutorial and getting new players into the game. The tutorial, there's a sensitivity to the tutorial. If you have a long tutorial, you don't want to do it. You know, about 50% of people, 50% of people, 50% of
yes.
people did not do the tutorial that are playing normal match-made games. Over half of them were just like, I'm not doing the tutorial, let's get it done.
Yeah, okay, because the thing is, people are like, oh, fix the tutorial, right? But if you have 50% of people not even playing the tutorial, because, okay, to be fair, a lot of games, like at least in solos, or like solo player games, I don't play too many multiplayer games. You just want to just jump into the match and get the feel of the game without like being handheld how to do and just kind of figure things on your own. I don't know, this type of game, like I did the tutorial, I think with the new one. I think I did the new one. Maybe, I'm not sure. I may have just done the old one, and it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't think it helped too much, or like they didn't explain a lot of the stuff. But I understand the information overload. A lot of people not playing the game, getting frustrated, they can't figure it out themselves. So I don't know. It just, yeah, I understand people don't want to do tutorials, but they still should have a better tutorial system.
You get the characters. I don't want the characters. Everybody does it. I'm guilty of it. Everybody, you know, you play a new game. Yeah. Like, I don't want to do the tutorial. I just want to play the game.
I agree.
And you skip the tutorial, queue up, you play a couple games, you beat some bots, and then you get into a game, and then you're up against real people, and you get destroyed, and you're like, wow, this game balance sucks. I hate this.
Yeah.
So we need to, if the tutorial isn't working, we have to do some other stuff. You know, we have a lot of people not doing it. So what other ways can we teach people to play, teach them about the game? We added, you know, the descriptions for the daily missions, kind of showing the game, talking about what they do, how it's done. It's like that. We added, you know, Yuki and Heijin. We added more tips in the loading screen, but you know, people, the tips in the loading screen, my personal outlook is that if you see a tip in the loading screen, you forget about it in game. I do it, but things like that we're just kind of working on to kind of get more information to you concisely, so you don't have to go through a 52-page tutorial. Like if you say, okay, these are the looting zones, they are here and here and here and here, you're like, what's going on with this game? I just want to shoot somebody. That's it. So over 50% are just tutorials, get done, go home, next game. So what we're going to do first.
Okay, I just want to maybe touch base on the tutorial. I don't know the exact solution for the tutorial, just because, as I said, if people are just going to skip the tutorial, making a better tutorial is not going to solve the issue. The only issue to solve that is to make the game more intuitive itself, or to make players realize like what they need to do in game more. I think maybe like an example would be like I think people suggested this, but like doing an end screen would be like, oh, you died because you were missing 4 armor slots while the other person you fought was full build, right? Something like that. But that might be hard to code. I don't exactly know. Or be like, oh, let's see, like, oh, you fought someone who had like transition items or like legendary items more. I don't know, it doesn't have to be legendary, but I'll just say rare resource items and you had nothing, something like that. Or you fought someone who had 5 weapon mastery above you, to give more incentive and be like, oh, what is weapon mastery? But there's so many things in this game that makes it really complicated to learn. But just giving something more in game to be like, oh, why I died like early, just to give them a thought. The basic thing would be like, oh, you don't have enough armor built, try like going to your areas, I don't know, try going to your areas faster, try crafting while looting a bin. That would be like a good tip to say, right? So
spawn rework and loot zone rework. So spawn points and loot zones.
The only thing is, I don't know where they got this map, because a lot of like the community, at least in NA, made like a map like this, so I don't know exactly, but like we worked hard on working on the map. I don't know, maybe they have their own internal map, but
to be a little bit more
similar.
Nice. So you can see on here, it's tough to see. I know it's a little small, but
it's very small. But yeah, if you don't know, this is like the loot distribution map, by the way. So like each color is like its own loot container set, or like set that you can get your loot from. So like this is yellow and forest. So all these bins belong to one like mini zone, and you should find all the loot that you need for your build, unless you are doing a build like, say you need 2 pickaxes in forest, you can only get 1 guaranteed pickaxe per loot set, so you'd have to loot a different set for that example. But yeah, you can just see all the clusters they have, and they're going to change how the clusters work to make them more like close together. An example cluster would be they're changing uptown. You can see like this is like really like weird cluster, but they're gonna make it so it's like more clumped together, so it's a lot more obvious on what it is. And yeah, most of them are just kind of, that's all they're pretty much doing. Like they fixed pond a little bit. Like this cluster is kind of weird, because if you used to spawn like here, let's see if you can see where, yeah, you can kind of see my mouse. I used to spawn like here, and like the person, or maybe it was like here, you spawn in between. The other person would spawn like up here, so this person would loot the yellow cluster and not the green cluster, like, or they loot both sets, so it's screw over the yellow cluster set. So making these changes is like honestly like a really good thing to make sure that people aren't stealing other people's loot sets.
A different loot zone. We will also eventually kind of be differentiating the loot zones on the map. So if you can see here in Beach, for example, this is the old version. This is old and this is new. So you've got very small, this is zone right here at the beach, this 3, they're kind of all over here. Now they're more all packed nicely here at Beach. Over at On, you've got the bridge. They're way down.
I just don't want to kind of drag this on for too long, so I'm just going to skip a little bit.
Subject to change. The airfield will be finished in season.
Okay, we'll move on to...
You may have seen this. Ready.
Okay, so yeah, they're just showing the old new. Okay, I already expanded on this.
We've also got a work in progress for the new UI for route safe plans. So yeah, this is all Korean because I couldn't get an English version in time, but I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna show it anyway. So basically, it is kind of going to be the route maker. You may have seen this before.
Yeah, like I don't understand why the game didn't have this in like the game player in the first place. Like this is, if you don't know, if you don't recognize this, this is from ion.gg. Like this is the exact UI they have for it, where you can plan what items you need and like figure out the route that you want. And this right here, actually, this looks familiar to this palette. Which one is this from? This might be from doc.gg's. It might be from... I don't think it's This is like a particular color palette I also recognize for making loot too. So yeah, they just kind of piece together like other, I guess, companies' work and put it on here. Just like, I don't know. Yeah, they should have had this in the game in the first place. I don't know why they didn't. But this is like a really good change to have. Instead of us going to like external sites to do it, this will also help like new players who didn't know about it. I mean, they probably won't be making their own routes, but it's just to give like an idea or like help just like other people who make the routes and they don't have to go elsewhere.
Website of sorts, but we're gonna kind of put it into the game. So it's yeah, you know, you've got over here, you know, you have like the routes where you can make your augments. You've got your
yeah. If this is grouping augments together, that's really
items,
good.
You've got your everything that you can kind of find on the route. You know, so it's going to be easier to make. So it's better than being a new player and just coming in and saying like, what's...
Yeah, if they finally have grouped augments together as well as like skill order, they just grouped everything together. Like that's really good. I mean, skill orders are already associated with a plan, but grouping the augments is also like a really needed change.
What items do I pick? I have no idea. You know, I'm going to use the save plan from 15 versions ago. I can't even, you know, I don't want to use this weapon. I don't want to use Ruthenia Marble as a hero. I want to play as your dagger. Like, okay, you know. And then also same kind of deal, you know, over here, this is kind of how it is now. You've got like your root name and the version and everything. But again, this is I
think they don't have the version.
This is not even close to what it's going to look like. Like this is just not even close. Like it's just going to be more of a way for people to kind of figure out what to do, where to go, instead of just here's my 6 items and then running that. So if this will probably, it's still up in the air if it'll be finished in season 5, but it's something that we're going to work on. As you can see, this random mock-up that we've made in, you know, maybe an hour, it's not exactly clean. So
yeah, I mean,
a
lot of it is just it looks like a piece from other websites. That's why
alternative to kind of a tutorial help, kind of getting that together. And also, boom, more items and boxes, bigger boxes, more stuff.
This is an interesting change. Like having more items and boxes will mean if they're gonna keep the same loot sets, is what it seems like is gonna be, is that they're just gonna add more items to zones, and so you can make a lot more flexibility of routing, because some routes example would be, oh, I need 2 nails in factory as an example right now, but right now you're only guaranteed to get 1 nail per loot set. So if they add more items and boxes, you might be able to get like 2 nails guaranteed in factory, and this is going to open up a lot more routing options, just because you can actually get more stuff from boxes and like your loot set, and will also probably shorten routes too, so it might not be as good for new players. And well, it'll be like a double-edged sword. Like experienced players will know how to like the loot faster, so they'll get their build online a lot quicker, but hopefully this will also help new players get their build online a lot quicker too. We'll have to see.
We kind of have the smaller boxes, the medium boxes, and then the fatty boxes. More stuff. It's going to get you your item quicker.
Flickering. It's going to like the Nimble Neuron strange just flickers.
Going to get your items quicker, and it'll have to go to less zones, so you don't have to go to you can't find any hammers, so you have to go to your next zone. Oh no, there's no bamboo left. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go to the forest. It's gonna try and stop that to kind of get everything together. So that'll be coming as well. It's a good new player buff, especially whenever you spend your whole night in the one zone. So yeah, more items. It's all good. Of course, items themselves though that's too far. Items themselves are strong. So
yeah, this chart, I honestly don't get this chart. Okay, I'll just let them explain first, and then I'll put my thoughts at the end after.
The value of items very quickly spikes over the value of your character. So items are powerful, very powerful, while the value of your character doesn't really overtake those items until the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't fully agree with this. This really depends on like the items, to be honest, and a lot of characters do scale well in the game, but like they made a point that some items have scaling factors, so it's not going to look like this. There's items in the games where it's going to look more like this straight line, like you're here, like it's going to be weaker down here, but it's going to be like a lot more powerful in the late game. So this, I don't know, I know this is like probably like a general summary. They're basically saying, oh look, these are the uncommon, these are the rare, and this is like your full build, whatever. And technically there'd be like a force spike where like you start switching over to like even stronger items. But again, like I don't even know if at the end of the game your character actually passes the items. Normally when you get the transition items, like that can actually make or break a fight at the game. Like a character, like even like a strong character might lose to someone like not as strong, like a tier list based like tier checked character, if they actually have like transition items. Like I could say like the item value is even more strong, and I don't think there's like a character, the character does scale. Like there's certain characters that just get like really strong in the late game, like with this, but the items kind of, I think, I don't know, I just don't think it's a good chart that accurate represents the game's item value to character value. I think it's just too simplified, that's all.
Even if once you get your items, you get your build, you get a transition, you get your prominence, you're chilling, you're good. This is
the rare items. Okay, so this is rare, epic, we are legendary.
With the
whatever
release of more boxes, more items, the item value can also increase. So we don't really want items to hold as much value. So we're going to lower the stats. We're going to reduce the power and the strength of items and kind of move that over to characters.
Okay.
It's a character.
This is gonna be, we'll have to just see how this is implemented. If they're gonna nerf items, like they nerfed HP items across the board and didn't fix, like I guess item values, like a certain item value would be like extra skill damage, and like EBAD would be like their value is a lot stronger than like I guess people's armor because it ignores defense. And so those items were strong in both early and late game. But if they're going to shift it over to like the character, you have to see, or sorry, I kind of want to transition with them. When they nerfed HP items, they didn't actually nerf like the other items associated with it or stats. Like I said, like EBAD or flat amp. So it made those stats really strong. because everyone started stacking defense because HP was lower. So it was like, okay, well, if HP is lowered, the only option is for me to stack a bunch of defense, right? But if EBAN and extra skill damage ignores defense, then those stats make it even stronger because the HP was the only way to counter them beforehand, right? And so we'll have to see. Hopefully they implement it properly so that the characters or like the items aren't like worthless, right? Like they still actually have value.
And so character power should be a little bit more prominent. So you get your full build night one, you go wipe the lobby just because you have items. It's not as intuitive for a new player as just the character is, you know. So a shift of item value will go to character value. It should help in theory, but again, this will be tested as well.
Yeah, I hope it's,
and of course, as a new player,
properly. That's all.
What do you run into as a new player that isn't a high level player, but is buggos? So a year ago, we were chilling with bugs. We were solving bugs when they came up. Then we added 1 million characters and 1 million more features, and oh baby, we are not chilling. There are bugs.
I also wish there was like
stats. I don't know if you can see maybe this spike right
10,
here.
20,
that's probably Bianca's W. So this is something that we are.
I don't know what this chart is either. I don't know what this is.
New features, bugs are the biggest problem. Bugs are the biggest problem. You know, it's an issue. New features that come out can have a hit on the game as a whole if they're structured quickly. If they're not structured properly, it can also hurt optimization. But you fix one bug and then 3 more come. So it's something that we are going to be working on as well. A lot of people have mentioned things like Fix PUBG and Operation Health from Rainbow Six, where we just like take a few months to fix all the bugs. We thought about it. We're not going to do it to that extreme, but we are going to work on it. So
okay, this actually gives like
in the season
information
3,
on how like resource. This is really good chart. Actually, like
the division of work that we had was people working on new characters, and then people working on skins, the past and play improvements, things like that, and like maybe just like a tiny little sliver here of bugs that popped up. And that was fine because in season 3 we were chilling. We were big chilling over here. Season 4, new characters, kind of the same. Season improvements, bug fixes, hey, there you are. And then people started working on the new mode. So that was kind of split. So season 5, new character is tinier. New character, less new character.
Yeah, the reason why new character is smaller is because they said they're going to release
things that don't really
not as much
cause bugs. That'll be the same. But we're going to have bug fixes and season reorganization as kind of new divisions where people will work entirely on bugs and optimization.
Yeah, I don't understand the season reorganization thing, but like, is that just reorganization within the team? I'm not entirely sure with that, but I also just wanted to mention it because he's just kind of going on and it kind of fit perfectly with bugs. The game has had a lot more bugs as of lately. Like each new character's had like really like bugs that were, I'd say, character breaking. Like it's technically you can still play the game with them, but you can't play with, well, technically still play the game, but you can't play the game with that character to like what it's actually supposed to be. Example, they said would be like Bianca W, Chloe and Nina's line. You could see, I think Daniel came out this season, and then Daniel had that big issue with you could see him through Fog of War, and then they fixed it, and then like a couple months later it came back again. Like Ekion had a bug where he would like literally couldn't move at all. Like he was basically just stuck there in place after, I don't know, dashing. I forget, there was like some requirement for it, I don't know, or just kind of happened right to him. Aiden had a bug as well where you couldn't actually like use your W, and so there's a lot more. Like I don't remember these bugs in older characters, that's all. Like they've been happening mainly with just like this season. So hopefully with like this like redistribution that it will fix the bugs that we were having beforehand.
not be frankly a very smooth transition, because a lot of these bug fixes, they don't specialize in bug fixes, so it would kind of take them a little bit longer to kind of get acclimated to it and find out, you know, why it is. But we're going to focus more on the whole bug fixes, optimizations, FPS drops, you know, the whole shebang. So it's going to be there. And when I say bug fixes, of course, that includes optimization and FPS and things like that. So it's not just, here are bugs, and then, you know, we're going to bring the graph back to, we're going to bring it back to, let's go. That's the future of the graph. That's the future of the graph, baby. Okay. So yeah, I know a lot of people, they think we're not working hard enough. We're only working on new characters. We're only working on stuff that people don't care about, but we are going to fix it. We're not going to take 3 months off because we still have a lot of content that we want to add to the game, but for as far as bugs,
yeah, I agree.
You better believe we're fixing them.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it should take that long off to fix bugs.
Why does C win when A and B are fighting? So one thing is the pings, the combat pings, the fighting pings. A and B are fighting. They're pinging each other. You see, you know, here's your little, oh no, I want to be red again. Here's your little exclamation point, your danger ping. C, he sees that and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a piece of this. And then he goes and kills the both of them. Even though A may have killed B and got a little bit of health back, it still doesn't make sense whenever you think about who benefits from the ping. A and B are fighting from the ping, but it doesn't really help them. It just helps this guy. It just helps Mr. C. So yeah, that's gone. Player versus player, ping.
This is a great change. This honestly should have been implemented seasons ago. Like, this is a really good change. And I don't know why they had this combat ping thing in the first place, but I'm just glad it will be fixed for the next season.
Those are gone. No more. They are gone. No more pings when people are fighting. It's just done. Gone. So if A and B are fighting, here's A, Mr. You know how there's a bunch right here. They're popping up here. They're popping up. They're popping up. They're popping up. No, it's gone. Bye-bye. It'll still pop up with, like, you're fighting Wickline and things, or you're searching and stuff, so you still got to be kind of careful. It's still, you know, there's not, compared to like FPS battle royales, there's not a huge range of vision. So there are ways, there need to be ways for you to see, gather information of people around you, and
I understand that.
Limited to just
the reason why they're still going to keep pings, it makes sense. Like, it's to stop people from ratting or like not fighting and just running away. So they'll still create pings while they like hunt, because hunting is a major like rat thing to do. I mean, everyone has to hunt in the game, but more so people who aren't fighting than others, right? Because if you're fighting someone else, you don't have the time to go hunt as much as someone who's not fighting. Makes sense, right? And so keeping pings for this makes complete sense. It's so you can actually like help find people, but it's not related to combat, which is good.
So you need to see what's happening.
But I don't know if, okay, sorry, I don't know if they need a ping for killing though. I'm not too sure. Like, maybe, I mean, it'll be hard to differentiate like a kill ping and like these ones depending on the location. Like, if it's a kill ping where there's like no bins, no animals, could be crafting, but crafting's odd, so it won't be as noticeable. But I don't know, maybe they could probably just get rid of the kill ping. I'm not sure.
The pings, they are not great at that because it just kills you. We're also, that kind of goes in hand with season 4. We lowered a lot of information that people could gather. People were getting information from CCTV that was way bigger, from satellite radar, from pings, and it kind of added a lot to third partying. So we're just trying to get rid of that. So yeah, that's kind of what we'll see. And also we're going to look at satellite radar, if it's how it affects third partying as well. You know, if you see a fight on the satellite radar between two players, you are a little bit encouraged to go check it out and maybe pick up an easy kill. If you're the third partier, it's great, but if you are third partied against, it feels bad, man. So
yes,
we've got to adjust that to a level that's fair. So another thing about third partying that kind of magnifies the issue are the temporary restricted areas.
Okay, I'll just go over this. They're changing how temporary safe zones are. Summary of this is just that they're going to make them further apart so people can't third party as easily in the zones. So as you can see before, beach, I'll say the main big ones would be beach, pond, and school, and archery. Those ones are like the biggest. Hotel is too, but I think to a little bit lesser extent, especially like beach and school. Like those ones are like in archery, like those ones were extremely close to each other. So what they're doing is moving it. So like this is where they currently were, and they're gonna switch them over. It's to prevent third party in like these temporary zones, but you're still gonna get third party. Like you'll still see people in alley or factory go. Like generally the strongest person in the game will have their own zone, and generally what happens to the strongest person in the game is they have a bunch of timer because they've killed people, right? So if you kill people, you get your timer refreshed. So unless the person who killed a bunch of people went taking red zone timers for like rare resource that they didn't grab, or not rare resource, maybe I think like an item they need to make a rare resource, they're gonna pretty much have full timer, like I'll say like 80% of the time. And so they'll still like not need to wait in the circle as long as other people. So is this gonna fully fix the issue? No, they need to fix in some of the safe zones in general. Like as you can see with school here, you're gonna have this like box here that range characters can circle strafe, which is like basically preventing the melee character from doing any damage, while the range character will like poke you down until the melee character can't do anything. So they need to fix like those issues with this. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna skip this part. I think I summarized it quite well enough, because I want to kind of get this over with as fast. But he's just basically explaining what I just did.
And kind of unrelated, but Fior rework characters. The Fior rework was not good. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. You know,
I'll let him explain first.
People thought it was difficult to play. People thought it was kind of different from her identity. People who like Fiora, people who have kind of grown and attached to the original Fiora, it's kind of weird to change a character that much. So
okay, I'll say my thoughts here. Like, I honestly thought the Fiora rework was fine, but again, I don't play Fiora like we said. Like the people who were playing Fiora before didn't like it. I don't know. I understand it's gone from like an auto attack focused character to like a spell character, but I've also heard that, or also like looking into like stats and stuff, is that the two-handed sword is actually like the best Fiora, because you're still gonna keep just like using auto attacks. Rapier's not used as much, and spear is like decently used. So it didn't really actually fix the thing they wanted. But saying that's like, oh, is a skill like it's too hard to play now. Like Fiora was a really simple character before, and I don't know if the best solution is to like make characters more difficult to play, but the more difficult the character, the more skill expression, I don't know, I think they can have. I could be, maybe that's a hot take, I don't know. But with like simple characters, I feel like you don't have as many tools in your arsenal to like, I don't know, deal with all situations compared to someone who has like a lot of tools. Like I feel like example would be like Celine, who's like very difficult character to play, and I feel like she can do a lot of different things in order to work with a situation at hand. Well, like Aya, who's like a really simple character, has like only a couple options, and I think it's easy for the other person to read what her options are compared to like Celine, right? But okay, the thing that they're saying is that because this is a failure, they're gonna make a hiatus on the remakes. I don't like that take, because like they've reworked Kathy, right? And people were fine with Kathy rework. Maybe it was just because she was extremely overpowered before. Maybe that's why they didn't complain, because Fiora is not super overpowered, I don't think. Maybe I could be off, like completely wrong about that, but I don't think she is, from what I understand. And so maybe that's why they don't like it. But I thought people were fine with the Kathy rework, and there's just other characters that need reworks, like Bernice, I'll say, who's a character that new players complain about a lot because he's kind of like, he's a stat checker. He can snowball a lobby easily, especially against new players who are like underbuilt, where he can get a bunch of early game kills and then just kill the rest of the lobby. And he's very, there's not much skill expression with him because, again, he's a pretty simple character. Like the Bernice will all do the same thing. They'll use the bola gun as ult, then they'll put a bear trap underneath you, and they'll just keep autoing you. And if you run away, they'll use Q to slow you and either chase you. It's like there's not much difference in how Bernice player A plays from Bernice player B. So them doing character hiatus, I think, is not a great thing. Like, they need to work on some of the older characters and to give them like their more like different identity. I don't know. I think it's just a bad take.
Stop doing remakes for a little bit. More basic remakes like Luke, maybe, but remakes are going to be on hold while we kind of reevaluate what we want with the remakes, kind of how we want to approach them more. Avoid a situation where Fiora kind of changes, and she is more difficult. She has a lot of a higher skill ceiling and skill floor that it's not quite as fulfilling to play for a lot of people. So in the future, we'd like to maintain the core, the basic gameplay of characters, but remake them in a way that still works. So yeah, keep an eye on remakes, but for a while they probably won't happen. So with characters, with remakes, we're slowing down on characters. We're going to chill a bit. The bi-weekly cadence of old will be removed. They'll still be frequent. It's not going to be like, hey, every 2 months new character, but the bi-weekly, I can't write with this mouse. Bi-weekly is gone. You can say bye. You know, get it like goodbye. So that's
yeah, I think this is a good change. Like, I already talked about it before, that they're gonna remove it just so they can like focus on other things, which is completely fair, and I agree with this change.
That's gonna be gone. The characters are still a core part of the game. It's still we're still character based, and characters are still the main content. But new characters are also getting kind of crazy, like Chloe and Nina. Let me just have a sidebar. You know, okay, in League it's called Nunu and Willump. I wanted to call Chloe and Nina, but I was not allowed, and I'm disappointed. But I digress.
I don't know.
Chloe's
why can they call it Chloe and Nina? I don't know.
Skills, her kind of summoner and tether function was kind of brand new, so that took a little bit extra time. Ekion's skill level up system, you know, his weapon system, that was a new system. So new characters are getting more advanced. They're getting a little bit trickier and cool and deep. So I was like, you know, Q is shoot 2 bullet, and E is a little dash, and W is shoot bullet in straight line. Now Ekion is like dash 100 time, upgrade weapon, get shield, silence, and so characters they do go crazy. So we're gonna slow down a little bit on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. So
yeah, bi-weekly gone. Speaking of characters, in all time,
I'm gonna skim over these sections because it's not too much information. Most person characters, obviously it's gonna be the woman characters of the game. Not a surprise here, at least to me. It shouldn't be a surprise to any of you.
Whatever.
We're just gonna skip. Most person guys, Luke, obviously a lot of people hate Luke. Bernice, again, I already mentioned Bernice being really popular among globe. I don't know, lower elos. And then Alex, I think just Alex is picked a lot just because he looks cool. He's a very hard character. Well, I'll say he's a very hard character to play, to manage his weapon swapping mechanic, and so I think it's more of his looks. I think Yuki would actually be the most purchased character, but if you don't know, Luke Yuki is free, so that's why he's not under the purchase character, right? So we're just gonna skip on. Merch versus skins. This is not a surprise to me either. Rio's popular character. I think the Jaggy skin is just because of the type of skin it is, and then Hyunwoo's, I think it just looks like really cool, and a lot of people play Hyunwoo as well. So yeah, his skin's also like, yeah, I think like they're all really good skins too. Rio's picked a lot. Like if you're gonna play Rio, you're gonna use the skin. Jackie, this skin's like really good.
Number one,
yeah.
kind of.
We'll skip. Most purchased character season 4. Bianca, yeah, a lot of people were hyped for Bianca. Fiora, the reason why Fiora's purchase mode is because of the rework, as well as Fiora was on cheaper price for Fiora as well because she's been out for a while. So makes sense why people will purchase her. And then we have Ekion. I guess a lot of people just liked him. I don't know, like like emo or emo goth, not really goth, and she's like goth girl. I said like more emo design, but I don't know.
A little granular with it. No.
Most purchased skin season 4. Rio skin, not a surprise considering the Rio skin was the 3rd most bought skin. Levin, also not a surprise. And then like Hyunwoo, they already said, I think Hyunwoo's a pretty popular character. Yeah, and since his like other skin was the 2nd most purchased, and it looks good. So yeah, these aren't surprises to me at all. You have to let me know if this is actually a surprise to you.
Purchase skin, but it's
we're just gonna skip this. 79. Skin usage in ranked mode, Sacella. Okay, if you don't, this would be because of the season pass. Okay, Hejin has a cadet skin, and that just came out. So the reason why you'd have that is because everyone's wearing cadet Hejin if you're playing Hejin, right? Shoichi is because he is the first skin you get from the battle pass if you like pay for it, and as well as Sacella is like level 25 you get her skin, and Sacella also has like 2 other skins, right? So that's the reason why for the skin usage, it makes sense. Like they're like free or like easily to access skins. That's why.
I'm Shoichi and 7 skins there was, and then are used white
most used. Yes, Adela's skin, because it's just a really like, these are all like really nice skins as well. And a lot of people were hyped for the, what is it, like the White Queen Adela skin, and I know Mobster Magnus, and just a lot of people like the island as well. So yeah, I understand these were like good skins, and people were just hyped for them, or they're like really good.
Boss Mag Queen of course overall green. So
okay, this is, I'll explain the chart here just so you guys don't understand, because it is kind of confusing, or like it took me a while to understand what it was originally. Okay. So this is the green rings, your normals. So they split the normal into solos, duos, and squads. You can see 1, 2, 3. So out of normal games, it's mainly solos followed by duos and then squads, with not much difference between them, to be honest. Like this is like 2% and this is about like 3%, or like 2.5%. And then this is ranked mode. Ranked is a lot more popular in solos than duos and squads, a lot less, and then customs is like lower.
This is normal green mode, normal games played.
Okay, and just putting my thoughts, I don't think this is a surprise to me. Like if you're gonna play duos and squads with your friends, you want to keep it more casual, you're gonna be playing norms, right? Solos is just like for practice, and this is more of like a solo focused game in my opinion, and so you're just gonna play the practice as well as like ranked is your main mode. And there's like a few people who play duos and squads, and by the way, this is not just NA, this is all regions. So this is like probably like 90% Korea based stats. I'd say NA is gonna be like 80% solos, 15% duos, 5% squads. It's our squads base is not big here, and it'd be like we have no squads ranked at all, so it'd be like probably 90% solos and like 10% duos, if even 10% duos. So yeah,
this is ranked games and this is custom games. So these are all the normal games, these are all the ranked games, and these are custom games. So in normal, the most popular was
Okay, I already just explained this chart. We're gonna move on. Oh yeah, actually this is
So,
maybe this is a little bit more important. So
but that's kind of it's the easiest one to pop. In the future, I think I mentioned this later, we may consider lowering the actual players in solo from 18 to 15. It's on the table. It's not solidified yet.
Okay, I think this is a good change, but the thing with this, if they change it from 18 to 15 in solos, they're gonna have to rework like all the maps, because right now it's balanced around having 18 players in a match, right? So your items are distributed for having 18 players. If you have 15, you're gonna have a lot more extra items in the game, so you're gonna have to like rebalance if you want to move it down to 15. Hi buddy, how are you? And yeah, and they should do this for duos and squads as well. But a good idea for what, 18 and 15? Yeah, I think it's good overall to have. Oh, the dev hour? Yeah, I just wanted to go over the dev hour. I think it's a good thing to do and just to discuss it, because this is more just like giving out information and just, yeah, react to it. But yeah, if they do this for 15 for solos, they should change duos as well as squads. Like they should do 15 for squads and like 16 or 14 for duos. I don't know, but you still have to like balance around the items for it. But the reason why they should lower duos and squads is because they have not as many players, so lowering the requirements they need for those modes is like would be good, because it'll help those modes pop more, especially in like NA where those region or like those modes aren't played nearly as much. So I think it'd be good if you did it for all modes, not just solos.
But we may lower it down. We will. It's not certain yet. It's a light maybe. With 15, I'd probably have to turn off bots in normals with 15, because I don't want to play with, like, you know, there's
honestly
there's
turning off bots. I think it's not a bad thing. I don't know.
It's a maybe. It's a maybe.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
So, death areas. Where are people dying? People be dying in the.
Okay, I'll just again explain this just to go over, kind of make it a little bit quicker. I don't find this as surprising to me. Okay, so the reason why Avenue would have higher stats is because Wickeline spawns in Avenue first zone, so you're gonna have a lot of people fighting for over Wickeline. Alley is because this is Luke's haven point, and so if you're in night 1 and you are in Alley, expect to run into Luke's, especially in norms. This is where they end up. You will probably die here. Then Forest would be related to Hedgen. Hedgen will kill lots of people in Forest. Troichi, not as much anymore. And also Wickeline will go into Forest as well if Avenue is closed, so this is also important. The other regions, I'm not exactly sure what archery, school, dock, but these regions make complete sense to me. It's not a surprise. People who die in Research Center is generally because they're either running from a player or they're fighting Wickeline in Research Center, and then they don't have enough timer. That's the only reason why you're gonna die there. So
in the Avenue and in the Forest. Why are they dying over here? Good question.
Okay, I already said why they're gonna die here.
Give you the business, give you the old 1-2, as they used to say in like the 1920s. And near the bottom, we have dock, school, and archery, which makes sense because archery is often kind of an early zone. People tend to start here and kind of bounce. Same with dock as well, but
maybe dock for like Rio, actually. You know, so maybe really that makes sense.
Combat zone, there's a lot of walls, so people kind of like to be out in the open.
School, but again, this is and archery,
conjecture.
Maybe not as much. Maybe it's like needing territory.
Or tree also, so that's another objective. But there's no, no alpha and omega fights.
Yeah, because no one fights for alpha or omega. They should, but no one really does. That's why the stats aren't abnormal there for not surprising. That's all I can say.
That are resulting in a lot of deaths. So there's a lot of information that you could surmise about that. So event NP. Yeah, okay, I hear you. I know.
Okay, event MP. My take on MVP is I personally don't like it, but the way they've explained it makes more sense to me. Because the way they've said it, it's basically a replacement for A coins, not a replacement for MP, and that makes more sense to me. because I was always thinking it's a replacement for NP. So if it's a replacement for A coin, I think that's fine. Especially if you play the game for a while, you're at a point like me where I have 250,000 A coin. And yeah, I understand the devs need more money as well, which is fair. But if it's a replacement for A coin, that's like completely fine too, because I'm at max A coin. I don't need more A coin. If that's what you're gonna give before, I think it's fine. And I think the devs need, yeah, more money as well. So that's completely fine.
I just think event NP is dog water garbage, but it's not a replacement for NP. We used to give A coin instead, and you don't want A coin. You're tired of A coin.
I have so many A coins.
So we invented event NP. It's extra. Instead of A coin, don't think of it as getting NP instead of, or event NP instead of NP. You're getting event NP instead of A coin. People have 1 billion A coins, so at least you could buy something with NP. But also, we gotta make some money, you guys. You know, like at some point, we're so generous. We give you guys a lot of free stuff, but also I need to eat. Like I'm hungry, so
like
you know, buy a skin, and you know, buy you know what would be a good skin to buy if you haven't yet? One of these, because you can see they're very popular and very cool. I mean, dang, look at that. This is my advertising push. So I know some people, I know you don't like event NP. It's here to stay. Think of it more of replacement to A coin instead of
I can
NP,
get behind
or
this.
even extra altogether. Because we were not going to give. It would be insanity to give out just 1,200 NP. So we will give you 1,200 event NP to put towards your newest skin. You may have already seen this code. It's been on Twitter. It's been on Reddit. It's been around.
Just to give a good note, if you haven't bought the ER pass, this is the best time to do it. You're gonna get severely or heavily discounted with this NP. I think it'd be like 300 NP more on top, like because it's not discounted right now. But you're gonna actually convert your event NP to real NP if you use this to buy the battle pass if you haven't already. So this is a good time to do so.
Discord, if you haven't, go get yourself some dang NP. I wouldn't be able to give out 1,200. I couldn't give out 1,200 regular NP, the blue, 1,200 blue NP. I couldn't. So event NP, go get it. Go do the if you go do this and the
yeah, we'll skip this because he's just saying about the
season
NP.
5.
So
what are we bringing?
Important start.
To season 5. A lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff. I'm excited for it. First off, we're going to have a new type of gameplay, NFT gameplay.
He's just joking about this.
This is a lot of NPs. What we are doing though. So
NFTs now. Just skip that.
That's a joke. Okay. What we are doing though is the season 5 ER pass.
This is actually really cool.
This is a lot of cool stuff.
I'm somewhat against the totem
this
one.
This little Raven guy.
It's a bit.
He is.
Looks a bit racist.
You guys gotta use drones. I don't use drones.
Like the crows.
Use some drones.
Looks cool.
I don't use them. You guys. So we got drone skins. We've got this is Will of the Wisp. We've got a little Raven. We've got camera skins. We got a little totem guy and a little eye of the beholder, eye of the all-seeing eye. So pretty good stuff.
I like the camera skins.
These are kind of announced marks that you'll see
recon drones, EMPs,
kind of announcement things. They're based off characters. I'm sure you can kind of guess who they are. Excuse me.
Okay, characters. This is Hedgen. I know that one for a fact. The other two, I'm trying to remember who they are. I was thinking maybe this is Hyun Woo, but I have to look into the symbols in the game. I don't fully remember what each symbol is. I just know this is Hedgen 100%. This might be Kiara. Or actually, no, it might be Isol, Hedgen, Kiara, because that's what the season 5 battle pass is. It's going to be Kiara, Hedgen, Isol as the focus. So it makes sense if those are the symbols for it.
It's kind of a lot of stuff. We're also going to have like a new lobby screen. We're going to have some enhancements to the ER pass. We're thinking about if you hit level 100 of your ER pass, if you max it out, you are then what? So we're kind of thinking of what to do after 100. We're gonna have maybe a little bonus, maybe some kind of gacha, some little fun to kind of keep you grinded the battle pass, you did it. Let's get a little bit more.
Yeah, they do need something at the end of the battle pass. Like I've been at level 100 for a while. But I spent it. Yeah, I spent it on a skin. I already have. I I have most of the skins I've wanted. The thing is, it's on a 2-week hiatus, or 2-week deadline, so I needed to spend something on it. I'm just gonna buy the lunar packs from the Steam because they're on discount through there, so that's why I was just gonna get those ones through Steam, so I wasn't gonna use the event MP on them. But I have most of the skins, if not all the skins I really want, because I don't play every character, but I have the skins for the characters I do play, right? So Season 5 update is in 6 days. No, it's pre-season in 6 days. It doesn't matter. Like I have a lot of MP from, like, as I said, they gave it a lot of free MP beforehand, so I have a lot myself back then. Yeah, it'll be pre-season and then season 5. So they'll be not exactly sure what they'll have then. Yeah, they'll have that box. I'm not too sure if I want the box. I'll have to see. I probably will get it, but it won't be. I don't think you'll have the event MP in time for that box. That's all. I think it'll be gone at that point. Maybe if you were like right as soon as the update came out, you could get it, but I think if you're a little bit too late, it'd be gone. But yeah, I think I'd get the box. I just gotta think about it because it is an expensive box anyway. I think it's 6,000 NP. I think is like $50. Something. Maybe it's 60. I have to look up how much it is, but yeah, it's quite expensive. And like I wouldn't be playing, like I can use my 8 coins to buy the new character, so I'm not too concerned with that. I have so much 8 coins, I don't need to bother. It'd just be for the skins, and then the skins that are coming out are only for the new characters, but I don't play many of the new characters, so I don't know how much of a skin I really need from them, that's all. But they do, I know they have exclusive skins with the box, and I just wish they told you what they were ahead of time.
You asked for it. We did it. You can't show it on here because it's hard, but yes. Daily missions for pass. You get your points.
Yeah, this is a good change. I don't know why they didn't do that in the first place. They should have had daily
weekly
missions.
Are a little easier as well. The ER point reward that was in the ER pass before is going to be removed. So we're going to have the daily missions.
Thank goodness.
We're going to have the
honestly.
ER pass hub where you could switch to older passes. I think it's going to be 300 NP if you want to switch to the older pass and finish that one instead. And so it's going to be good. There's still some to do. It's just not totally complete yet. But
yeah, 1500 is only game.
Good.
I don't think I even did that one.
New skins, of course. It's going to be called
because I don't need it. I'm already level 100.
It's Return Season 5, Ghostly Presence. So it's going to be kind of spooky. I have a video for you all to see in a little bit, so stick around and you're going to like that because it's a really good video. So just hang tight on that one. You know what? Maybe I'll show it right now. Should I show it now, or do you guys want to wait? You know what? Let's wait a little bit.
Okay.
Season 5 changes.
Let's see. You know anyone else who finished level 100? I know a lot of people who do, but I'm more familiar with people who are like play this game like seriously, or like this is like the only game they play. So, oh the Hyperloop. Oh yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. It's just like a lot of people don't need the points for it. I can just spend the game hyperlooping. It doesn't matter, but I don't need the points. So, okay, I want to say the mastery thing. This is interesting, but the thing is that not all weapons have one. So maybe they're just saying the ones they already know they're gonna do, and then leave the ones that they haven't fixed. Like, there's no pistol, there's no throw, there's no bow, there's no shuriken, there's no glove. There's like a bunch of weapons that don't actually have one of these mastery things. They're trying to do this because, as they said, they want to make items not as impactful as characters, which I might be a good or bad thing. Yeah, Lennox gets more range. I don't know exactly what this means because Lana has an auto attack, so it doesn't really matter. So there's let's see, sniper range would make sense other than Bernice, because Bernice's attack range is fixed, so that seems kind of dumb. And then like hammer will be interesting because you get like craft mastery extra. And then I don't know, some of these are just kind of interesting to see. I think it's a good change, but we'll have to see how it's implemented. Maybe I'm wrong with it.
So instead of just getting, you know, straight up damage, raw damage, fun, more variety in weapons. So this is still kind of up in the air. We kind of want to give weapons their own identities. So sniper, whip, spears, you'll get attack range. That kind of makes sense, you know. Sniper is a long range weapon. Whip is a melee, but kind of feels like a ranged. So that's kind of cool to give range. And the spear, which is pretty sick. So hammer item efficiency, that is if instead of getting maybe 15 armor or 15 defense from an item, you'll get 17.5 or whatever. These numbers are just kind of random, but that's kind of how it is. Armor penetration on the crossbow, the assault rifle, and the VF prosthetic, which are kind of fitting. Omni siphon on Axe and Arcana, which fits as well because Axe has Maleficent Helix. I can't pronounce that. I'm so garbage pronouncing Maleficent Helix skill. And Arcana gets a little bit of a Omni siphon as well. And Tonfa, you get defense. You get a big tanky Honu coming at you. You get some defense from that. We're going to add some more, of course, but for now, it will be just... This is kind of the first steps for what's coming.
Okay. I just interesting to see what else we also have for this.
Bada boom, active items.
Okay, active
As of
items.
now, we've got the first...
I know a lot of people didn't want active items. I don't know what to feel about active item because this is my first MOBA type game, so I'm not used to like active or like a lot of the features from other MOBAs. Yeah, but I've heard a lot of people are like, no, please don't do active items in this game. I'll have to see how they're implemented. I don't know. But yeah, the only thing I'll have an issue with, there's like so many buttons. Like there's already so many buttons I have to deal with in this game already, and they're gonna add more more buttons to manage. It's just gonna be a pain. So hopefully they don't have up to 6 active. Yeah, I'll just see how it is. Yeah. I don't know how these items are gonna be.
Are called Blessing and Sprint. So these Blessing is a
like food, yeah.
Regen, it kind of
like
depends. It's kind of a self buff.
Health.
It'll give you HP and SP regen, or a little bit of attack power, a little bit of defense. And Sprint is just, you know, it's a little ghostly using these. This is going to be a new quiver. It's called Salt and Adorned. It's a fresh new accessory for
yeah, very skinned lace quiver. Okay.
Let there be light, Veritas Lux Mea. You know, you've seen this before. Also, I'm pretty sure Salt and Adorned is built with meteorite, so I think these are all kind of going to be mostly RNG items. And Respite and Nullification, we are testing these in preseason, maybe only going to put them in team modes. Respite is you put yourself in stasis. Nullification is it gets rid of CC. These have potential to
yeah, I know. Adding passives is already a big thing,
and we are aware of that.
And adding actives on top is like
we're going to test them. It's preseason. Why not? We're going to see how it goes. As I talked about.
But please, devs, if it does go poorly, actually remove the item. Please don't like just admit like, oh, this is a bad idea. We're gonna remove it. Don't go with the smolder thing and be like, oh, everyone says it's a bad idea, and you just leave it in the game. So let's just please double down and like actually follow through. If it's a bad idea, just remove it.
Earlier, the item efficiency, the item value is high, and so we are. It does kind of seem contradictory that we see that it's high item value, but we still kind of want to lower the value. So I mean, it's going to be a test period. Like I said before, I've said this a couple times. The player base can overshadow the efficiency of our testing in like an hour. Like we can test something for weeks. So they will probably just be team modes. This is also a new item, by the way, called Totem, and it does require 4-score. In case you're wondering.
4-score, okay.
So we might also just put them in team modes as well, just to kind of see how it is. So we'll see. I mean, you could see how they look in game. So here you've got the Respite.
Okay, so just say this is Nathan Pond stasis, and that's the exact same effect. You can see like he's frozen in the air. Exactly how Neath the Pawns ult works. I mean, you wouldn't be in the air with this happens, but yeah.
You can see you can pull off crazy stuff like this.
He's like CC removal, so he just cleanses. I guess it's like a cleanser, just removes
motorcycle
the CC from
and the stasis, like that. Bada bing, bada boom.
He just gets out of the
right
ult.
here. You'll see the
other one they said is like you go invisible and you like heal.
Magnus,
that's what they just said it was. That's the blessing.
I want to zoom in on that, but this is a gift. And you'll see this one is kind of hard to see. This one is blessing. So you'll see she goes invisible and she gets her health back until she's attacked again. Getting attacked cancels the effect of blessing, so it's only kind of like while you're
invisible.
If you're in a good position.
Okay. Yeah.
One's like SP regen, and the other.
The attack lasts long though. It looks like he was attacked. The Japanese attack to stop the healing effect, but imagine you just. If you're like a dagger character, right, and you just use dagger skill after you come invisible and then you just leave, you can pretty much go the full health. Because that effect lasts really long, so we'll have to see how much healing. He's healing like 34 a tick, and it's like super fast ticks. I don't know how much is sped up as well. It could be times 2.
For a quick sec. No, not here. Okay. You can see the
okay, where are we going back?
UI, how to use them. Right now it's tentative, like the F keys. I don't really want more UI bloats because the UI itself is kind of rough.
Adding the F keys got kind of.
And also, of course, so that's not these are the items. We got a little bit more stuff going to. And of course,
I don't really like the F keys. I'd have to.
So we got pork chop as well.
It. This is so funny.
The boar now be launching you.
This feels like a meme.
He gets you. It's called pork chop. I named it pork chop because that's funny. The boar will now let you outplay people. You can hit yourself.
I don't know. This just seems really funny to me. I feel like it's gonna be interesting to see how it is in game. I think it will cause a lot of funny interactions to happen. Where she like gets launched over like walls. I don't know how much you can get launched over. You have to see the range of the dash. They're doing it so that the board doesn't causes like stuns. I've had moments where I've got like stunned by the board, like I got rammed and like screwed me over. So I'm sure everyone has, and I've had it happen both ways where it's benefited me, but it also hurt me. So we'll just see how it is in game. And I just want to know how far the launch meter is, like what places you can actually get launched from. And I don't know if they're gonna move board placements because of it, if as well. Like, are the boards gonna stay in the same spots? I'm not sure.
You can launch over stuff. It's just fun. You know, it's fun little tech that you can have to the board. Look at him. He be getting you. So we do have some board improvements.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know, get a little bit of a move preseason testing.
Team
changes happening, even though it's not entirely the most popular mode as we know and as we've seen earlier. But I still want people to play team modes. It's still fun. But right now it's kind of like you get the team mode, you enjoy it with some turn with your buds, and then you want to stick together and don't die. But then your Yuki goes in and gets picked off by Team USA from the ERWI, and then all the revives are taken, and then you have to watch your two team.
My biggest hype will be, it's not even mentioned in this one, it's the changes to flat amp or like extra skill damage and EBAN, or like the extra basic attack damage. They're gonna like completely rework how that is, and I think that's gonna be a really good thing for the game, but I just want to know what they do to replace it, or how it's gonna be, what's gonna happen to the characters that rely on those stats. Just because it's annoying to die to characters that you can't have any counter to, which would be like Air Aya, Heart, Air Isol, William, Rio. I'm just excited to see how that is, because I mainly things I'm hoping for is balance with the game. That's what I'm really hyped for, and I think that it's like one good step for balance. I don't really care much for the new mode that's gonna come out. We haven't gotten there yet, but yeah, that's mine. How about yours?
From the heavens, or you just say, you know what, let's go next. We want to go next.
Yeah, the new game mode. I heard it's like Dominion. I think it's what it's called, from League mixed with like ARAM. I don't play League at all, so I don't really know much about that, but we'll have to see how the new game mode is. Hopefully it'll stick around. I'm just worried that it'll be a mode that people will play on like the first few days and then just move on. I'm hoping that there'll actually be people who will be interested in the mode for like long term. Yeah, I haven't heard of it until yesterday. Just I'm not a League player at all. I like this game, but I know a lot of people came from League to this game because it's like a MOBA-esque type game. But that's what people are saying. Dominion was like an old game mode League had, but that got removed. I guess because not enough interest. I'm not too sure. But that's what people are saying it's based off of. Yeah, I hope the new game mode will stick around for like the long term and there'll actually be queues for it. I'm just worried that there's not enough queues for our current modes that we won't be able to handle the player base for each mode. Yeah, I just hope the sub game is as big as the main one. I'm just hoping it doesn't split our player base.
That cool. It's kind of like, you know. So what we're gonna do is, boom, automatic revives. Say goodbye to the revive terminal. Say goodbye to the whole thing. You die before day 2. This is just team modes, of course, not solos, because that wouldn't make sense. You die before day 2, you are automatically revived. It's a huge change, so we're gonna keep an eye on it. It's intended to help with the solos will kind of be still for me a premier competitive mode. This change will kind of lighten the mood of team modes a bit. So it's kind of leading to more fights, more kills, more fun. How it works is
okay, my thoughts on this: if your main mode currently is duos and squads, they basically said, screw you, we're gonna make it more casual, so it's not gonna be a real competitive mode anymore. So I really like duos a lot, and now this change is gonna make it that duos competitive is pretty much dead, because people are gonna farm each other before day 2 because you know that they're automatically gonna be revived, and it's just gonna mess with all like the competitive scene for team modes. So I'm kind of mixed on it right now. I'll have to see how it's implemented in the game, but I like duos a lot, and I just know this is gonna kill competitive duos because of being automatically revived and people just farming you. But I know it's good for the casual audience.
Day 2, you're revived. You don't have to worry about those revive terminals. What happens is you die after a little bit. Here's the tentative looks for the active items. As you can see, Nikki has Aurora Longsword, and she's also dial in, so that's part of the change. So don't worry about that. Don't look at that. This is nothing. This means nothing. None of this has any meaning. So don't take any of this into, just delete this from your brains. Don't even look at this. It means nothing. This is not even how it looks. So don't even worry about it. You can change it as what I think. Don't just ignore this. Just
icon here.
Just shut up.
Nothing.
So, but how it looks is you will revive, you'll die, and then you'll get automatically revived, and you can pick your zone where you want to go. So you can go to, it's basically just a hyperloop again. It's intended to kind of move it towards more like casual. It's help.
Yeah, these items here are actually from Immortal Soul Black Survival, or like OG. They are technically new. They won't be added in the game. They've shown these items in multiple different previews beforehand. I don't know why they have them in their own system for like testing if they're not going to actually use them. I don't know. But they've been shown in previous previews before.
New players that kind of die early by Averse, Homecoming, and Pymaster who have killed you in Factory after they have 4 items in 35 seconds. So this will be a little bit more. So, and it's also kind of feels bad, man, if you die. It kind of, the current version kind of also punishes more experienced players that may have lived longer compared to getting picked off early, but by the time they die, their revives are gone. So you can't use those revives.
I also see that too.
So, yeah, it's gonna
like
be
where like you actually survived early because your team's like strong, and then you die later and all the revives are gone because the not as strong teams, or like not as strong routes for those teams, many of them die early and take up a terminal. So I understand it's a double-edged sword, but I still think what's gonna happen is people are gonna kill each other like night one just to get like kill points, and then there's no punishment because the other team just gets up, right? So
So as you can see, this is kind of the intention. The core gameplay, this is how many people, this is like players, yeah, 4 players, 2, 3, 4. So how many people will be in the game modes? You queue up solo and Lumia, that's kind of like the core, the competitive game mode. Duos and squads are going to move down to being more of a light, fun game mode.
it's
And
like
then 4
mid,
players
but
in the new mode.
new mode
What's
is
the new mode you
casual.
say? Oh, I have some news for you. I'm going to get into some detail about the new mode. So, new mode. Cobalt Protocol. I spent a long time coming up with this name. We were brainstormed a long time for the new mode. So Cobalt Protocol is... What is it? You guys want to see? Boom.
Sure.
This is a backronym. Concealed operation of bolstered adaptive lab tests. Clandestine operation. This is a bag that made this up.
Sure.
I thought of Cobalt, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it an acronym because that's fun.
Whatever.
So anyways, it's focused on combat, fighting. It's easy, it's light. There's combat. It's not repetitive combat. Like, oh, I'm fighting again, but there's...
But if it's not repetitive combat, why does the title say repetitive combat? Kind of weird.
a lot of fighting. It's occupation and dominating. That means, like, you know how in Call of Duty Domination, there's like the 3 zones or the 3 flags, and you kind of stand on it to capture it a little bit? That's kind of what this is. You stand on something, you capture it. That's not how you win. That's how you get buffs. We'll touch on that. Aside from Lumia, it's not post-apocalyptic. It's more futuristic and clean and more sterile. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
more
you
like
should
a
see the
future
actual map,
science-y,
though. Like, they showed like a template of it, and like not what the actual map's
there's
gonna
no
look like.
minions or anything. None of that. So these are all gone from the new mode. And the new mode, looting in your routes gone, crafting gone, restricted areas gone, ranked gone, mastery
it's a
gone,
fun
food drink
mode,
gone. Just
so
get rid of it.
obviously
Just
it's
delete
just
from your brain,
fun.
just like the UI from before. It's casual. It's fun. Mastery will still exist, but it's only going to be like weapon and defense, and it's going to be pretty much static. You're just not going to like change stuff. Food and drink is not 100% removed yet, probably, but it will be. It will be
I haven't streamed
replaced
a
with a
bit,
different
so.
kind of healing, things like that. There are heal packs instead, that you can get, but boom. So these are new stuff. So it's got infinite revives. So you die, you come back. You get a random character. You don't get to pick. You can't pick a verse. You can't pick Hagen every time. I get a verse and Hagen. It's the same thing. You can't pick Hagen every time. The mode itself, we'll call it like Lumia Island is the battle royale, and Cobalt.
Yeah, picking random or getting random characters, I think it's interesting, but I saw other people saying there should be like a reroll based system if you like actually either like you don't want to play that character or you like don't know exactly how to play them, right? It should just give like one reroll, which I think that's fair to add, but yeah.
Protocol is 4v4. So I don't think you want to say like, hey, you guys want to play some Cobalt? You know, you want to decompress in a competitive game. Let's queue up some Cobalt. If you guys call it ARAMs or something, it is random, but it's not mid. So if I see anyone call it ARAM, I'm banning you forever. So just keep that in mind. Plasma kits. This is kind of the core of the gameplay. It's a little bit like a Pokemon Unite where you have to kind of get the things, you know, get a thing. You can kill there's no minions, but there are neutral units as well. So you can kill animals and a new neutral mob. The roadblocks, the game kind of starts, it's 2v2 and 2v2 on kind of different sides of the map. I'll show you the map in a moment.
Okay.
The turrets will shoot you.
For me, I'm like a very visual based learner, so I really need to see how the game is before I can like explaining like this doesn't really help me see how the game's gonna be. I really need it to see like a vision of it. Hi, water bottle. How are you?
Shoot you, and turbines are a new thing. They're things that you capture, and they will
I'm just going over
kind
the
of give
hour.
you buffs for a different kind of buffs depending on the things. It's not the main system because it's gonna still feel like a deathmatch where you get kills and you get you know, Pokeballs. They're called plasma kits, but they are things like that. So the turbines as well are called what did I call them?
Turbines, turrets. Okay, sure.
Resonance. The resonance amplification turbines.
The rats.
Or the rats.
Okay, sure.
So you got to capture the rats. If you get the rats, you get buffs. So that's a little Easter egg.
It takes a long time. This is 1.5.
But the main thing. Oh, and
I've sped it up so
infusion
much.
is another thing too. So infusion
This is at
will
1.5.
pop up at one point if you get enough plasma kits. I believe is how it will be. It will change how you activate this. You get 3 choices to infuse your character with, and they will be based on kind of your build. You may have seen something similar to this in TFT. This is called augments in TFT. It's a very similar system, but not the same. You know, there's no.
Yeah, so I put on fast forward. Anyway, we're gonna move on.
Arcana 6 or whatever it is. I don't know what I do.
Jeez, can you just move on?
You can kind of slightly from.
Okay, we'll go back.
Actually, the dog.
Okay, I've went a little too fast forward.
I'm sure you want to see how the map is.
Yes,
there it is. Okay, so I think you got enough of the map, so we can move on. So, the Cobalt Protocol map.
Okay, here's the map. The stupid play button's blocking it. So what they're saying is like you start in like one of these rooms as like your team, and then you get sent out originally, and yeah, and then you like
Project Cobalt.
Explain.
Cobalt. I had a lot of names for it. I want to call it like Cobalt Bastion. I want to call it like
I just want to wait before I make any judgment on
Oasis or like I had a million things. So this is very hard to see. So you see, we'll start with the situation rooms are kind of like where you start with your team, and then you will go to these sides. If you see here in the center, these doors here, this little red line, they split the map into 2. So you can't access this side or this side until later. So in the beginning, it will be 2v2. So there'll be 2 people here, 2 people here, 2 people here, and 2 people here.
Okay, sure.
And so they will fight over stuff like the bears and the doggos and each other. You'll fight each other. You'll want to get the this coil. It says coil. That is the turbine. It was originally called a Tesla coil. That is the resonance amplification turbine. The rats.
Yeah,
you got heel packs here like that.
If you don't like it, then you don't like
the
it.
coil, the middle center coil, and the right coil, and the turrets will shoot you. You can't capture the turret. The turrets will always be the same. So eventually the doors will open up and you have 4v4. The hyperloop will spawn you. The hyperloop. You guys know how in Pac-Man, where you walk to the left side of the map and the screen and it brings you back to the right. That's what the hyperloop
takes you to hyperloop B, and hyperloop B takes you to A.
Over here, you can't use it while the doors are closed, of course, because it's 2v2. So yeah, it'll be or 4v4 once it opens up, so you can get over here, capture the coils, get back to your turret or the turbine, things like that. Gamma is also going to be the new android. He's out here. He's gonna
new android, interesting.
He'll drop stuff. Everything will kind of drop the plasma kits, and he'll get you. So it's a little bit confusing. I'd love to get you guys some footage of it soon. It's on the way, but we're still working on it. There's a lot of stuff going. Like this is all totally like this will remain the core of it, but some of this might change slightly from the final version. This will very likely be in season 5. Probably not the preseason. Definitely not the preseason. It won't be done by then. It won't be. Yeah. So it's coming.
It'll be season 5, not preseason.
Yeah. In the situation room, you can kind of go anywhere you want from there. You can kind of teleport here or whatever. That's kind of like the spawn point. So if you die, when you die, you kind of end up here in the situation room, and then you can go kill Gamma, kill Wolf, and accelerate around. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's kind of a mix of TFT. It's like the 4v4, in case you're wondering. You're TFT or TFT Augment, Pokemon Unite, like Capture, Dominion, where you capture the points. It's a hodgepodge of all kinds of games, and it's pretty dope. And of course, you get random characters. So this team might be Keanu, Luke, Magnus, Alex, and then you've got Johan, Bianca, Heijin.
Yeah, the map looks interesting. We'll have to see how it is in game. I'm very visual oriented, so I need to actually see how it looks. Like this looks somewhat more complicated than I'm sure it actually is in game, just because of all the labeling associated with it. But yeah, I just want to fast forward because he's trying to ramble a little bit.
I don't remember the core of it. The self game. That one I'll let you guys know. That's instead of
this is what they're just saying. I just want to sum it up. I kind of ended up quicker. Is how it currently is. They say there's like looting, and then you have objectives, and then you have like the final zone. Objectives are trees to like alpha, omega, right? Meteorites, and this one's gonna be like combat break, whatever. That's just how this is. No, they have. I don't think there's any.
You set up your loot. Objectives are there versus
It's just this map. That's all they gave. So nothing of what the actual map's gonna look like. Just like the layout of it.
Matches will be about 10 to 15 minutes, depending.
Okay, 10-15 minutes.
It's not going to be much different
That's
from
whatever. That's fair. That's a Pokemon Unite
kind of
game.
regular casual ARAMs.
That's
but
10 minutes.
It's gonna be fun. So yeah, thing is rest and heal faster. There might be infusions that kind of give you, more damage or give you special effects, things like that. Give you extra items.
Okay, I'll just say I just mainly want to see how it is. I'm just hoping that there'll be people who are actually interested in the mode. Oh, Lumia visuals. Yeah, I think so.
It's super good. To answer some more questions at the Lumia Island itself will be going some upgrades as well. Mostly visual stuff. So you've got the school. It's looking fresher. It's got you got some new things.
The main thing I agree with what people were talking about last night is the Wraith Kira was talking about was the ground textures really need to be updated, because look, like the building changes but the ground doesn't change, so it looks kind of like
your new bulletin board.
The ground has more of a focus of like not being the same textured as the buildings.
Is that how it works? I've seen that in like TV shows where like you go to school and you're like, I gotta see what I got on the test, and then like all the kids would go to the bulletin board and like see the test. I've never had that. Does that happen?
I've heard of like the board going to see the test. I never had that happen, but playing Persona 5, if that's even an accurate representation, I have no idea. That's what happened in Japan. If you went to school in Japan, you have to let me know. I don't know if that's how it is, but not my school, and it's never like that. It's like you only see your own marks.
As you can see, like in detail, the textures we're using that we've made them are a little bit lighter, so this also should help with optimization. They're kind of
I'm also when this isn't going to be optimized.
I would say I can't speak much for the map because I don't make the map, but it should help. From what I've been told, it should help with optimization. It's used a new kind of texture restructuring thing. The map. I don't know anything about 3D modeling, guys. I'm gonna admit that's like the only thing that I don't know when it comes to like I could write a song, but I can't. If someone's like, hey, make a model, I can't make Cylinder.
Yeah, I'm just really hoping with this graphic update that it is optimized, because the game already is like chugs quite hard on my computer. Yeah, my computer's not that old at all. Like I got it a little over a year ago. Hopefully it's gonna be better optimized and it's not gonna make it run worse. That's the only thing with the changes.
School, look at that. You got a nice new old gym, new auditorium.
Looks nice.
It's got window. I can't always. Yeah, that's always been on my mind.
Skim through this because just look at the changes.
Where would it go? The church has received a lot of donations recently. So of course that has been upgraded. They decided to.
It's a lot taller now. I mean, it looks nice, but again, like the things that you're going to be looking at the most are just the ground, the bushes. They didn't get changed at all. Those are the things that I think need to be
the inside is also they upgraded that as well. You can see now there's an upstairs.
It looks nice.
Before
I'm not going to deny that.
Looking very Pentecostal. I don't know if that's the... Yeah. And now we're here. We are at the dock. The dock looks kind of more like a dock. You've got like loading dock.
Looks good.
I think these boxes will be gone, if I recall correctly, because this is the bear corner. I think they'll be gone. I'm not 100% sure if that was confirmed, but I might be lying to you guys.
Death by Nathan Von True.
Be a little detail of it, like that.
Yeah,
I just love the the manager's office or whatever this is. I don't know. I've never been to a dock. Oh, you get a little heart sticker right here. I've never been to a dock. And
anyways, you can see he just toggles it back and
forth.
The
main dock room. It's the grass is here. What happened to the grass? I guess we'll find out.
These giant people with traps in the chapel find us out all the time.
They look cleaner. You got some new. Got rid of the brick. Got some new concrete walls or whatever. Hey man, nice.
Let's move on.
And look at that blue, kind of a nice little harbor feel, some metal.
They also changed the water textures too, which is interesting because you're not really seeing.
Oh, that big old
they
crane.
changed the water texture. Okay, they changed the water texture, but not the ground texture. Like you don't see the water that often. Right? Like, most of the stuff that you're gonna be looking at is like once in a while, but it's not gonna matter too much as long as if the game runs the same or better, honestly better, it's be nice, but just update the ground and I think it'll look a lot better, or the bushes.
The big old crane, there it is. No more grass, it's the crane. And of course right here, just for full immersion.
That's where the bears are, okay, yes.
If you throw garbage in the dock, I'm gonna come find you. If you throw it off into the water, I will come find you as well. And now we're at the factory looking pretty fresh. You gotta some new players walk up and be like, I need some boxes, and
Okay.
it's
I don't know what new players thought this was like boxes before, but there, yeah, you can see it's changed to a forklift. So
boom, now it's a forklift.
Yeah.
I said bada boom like at least 3 or 4 times this gameplay. Personally, I think it's more sensual, and I like when the
yeah, I don't. Yeah, this is one thing people point out. They moved the factory teleporter. It's on like this wall where my mouse is, all the way to up here. I know my mouse is black on your screen. I've set my mouse settings differently, so it's actually white on my screen. But yeah, I don't know about this change. The reason why I understand why they're putting it here, it's because of that factory loot set that's all the way far in the like the back corner there, to make it more fair for them to reach it instead of having to walk all the way down here. I hate that spawn. You know which spawn. It's the one that's like far in the back, more upwards of where my mouse is. But it's gonna make the spawn that's like right close to here like really easy, and like that's the ideal spawn. It's gonna make it even more favorable. So I don't know if they'll change it. I don't know what the best thing is. I just think they need to rework that one spawn in factory, but I don't know to where is the problem. So,
but you know, you just put some rocks on that. We moved it down.
Okay,
we moved it down.
The roof changes.
It's the valve was moved. Unplayable. Made.
Okay.
You're gonna have to.
They're just saying like the valve move. Or
cool.
See the roof change.
Little detail. So before
it does look more broke down. It's not as clean.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment here, guys, to shout out the map team, because how are there 3? Who was doing this?
Are they changing the roofs? I have no idea.
Putting these up here. What is happening? Why are you putting the tires on the roof?
Maybe
there was like a car here, and like
these
are 4 tires
from the car,
and the car
roofs of the game.
You know, maybe someone shot the gas can.
To be honest.
So new characters. You have probably seen these on Twitter.
Okay, new characters. Laura, we know she's gonna come out first season 5. There's no character release for preseason. It's just like the new, all like the updates and like the active items and stuff they're gonna be testing.
She's ready to go. Easy.
Here's Tia, and yeah, I mean it looks good, but I think she's after Laura.
I've seen a little bit of Tia, gameplay wise.
Oh, they already have the gameplay for her. Okay.
I can't read this.
Interesting.
L'Atelier de Tia.
So, oh yeah, Demon, what does this say? Because you know French, right? What does this say? I don't know what that is. I know this would be of the Tia.
Are you?
It's just cafe. I see. Oh, Tia's Cafe, is that it? Okay, this is cool.
Yeah, French viewers. Felix.
And then we have Felix, who's the cashier, spear wielder. Yeah.
Felix, you know, his voice recorded. Felix Navidad. We should have brought it for Christmas, so I could have made that joke. You know, but he got his little spear. He's got his little.
Oh, it's Tia's workshop. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that actually makes more sense. Yeah, because she's a painter. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Keep it going. You got Felix. Elena. Our Russian
This is just like the models, I think. I'm sure that's not even like developed at all.
Ice Princess. I've seen a lot of comparisons to her to other medium. You know, they're like, that's white hair Ching. That's what's her face, the girl from the anime, the RWBY or whatever. I've never watched it. But yeah, it's Elena. Priya. That's a what instrument? What's this? Yo, is that a sitar? Does that mean another guitar user? Any guitar users? Anybody?
Okay, that's not actually a guitar. I don't know what the actual instrument's called, but it's not a guitar.
The voice of nature. And of course, Adina! Let's go! Adina. New character. This is fresh, hot off the presses. Adina, the woman herself.
No, I think she's gonna be arcane. Excuse me. No, she's gonna be arcane or throw. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not going to give you more details of what it is, Her weapon type is assault rifle. Just kidding. Anything I say, I'm not going to confirm because I don't know much about her just yet. I don't have much that's confirmed. What I can confirm is that she does look like she's pondering. She does seem to be pondering this orb.
Yeah,
so,
we're gonna move on.
What's this item he's using?
Marcus. Now he's actually gonna be our second axe user. Yeah, these aren't from OG. These are from. Excuse me. This is like their own design. And I don't know. This one doesn't seem to fit the art style, but I know this will fit more of it. I'm starting to lose my voice. Sorry.
What's this thing in his hands? This is an interesting item. What do you think this could be? Is this another axe user? Is this another axe user, ladies and gentlemen? He actually throws. He throws the axe. Sorry to disappoint you. Just kidding. Again, this guy, I don't have much detail about him. So
I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, come on, though. Look at it. You badass. Look at that. He's probably an axe user. He might be a camera user. Might be an axe user. Pretty cool, Marcus. So some new skins. You've seen these also on Twitter, but let's take a look at them again. Boom.
Okay, this skin's gonna come out for free. I don't know. It looks okay. I think it's fine. If you log in when season 5 starts, you'll just get the skin for free. It said so on their website. So
Champion, yeah. Champions, which is kind of
Ava looks fine, but a lot of times when you think of Ava, you just see her hair. So I don't know. It looks cool, but it doesn't seem too different from her like original design. I know it's just like a character. It's like it's gonna be an uncommon skin.
She's a time wizard, my alley.
This one actually looks pretty cool. Daniel skin. This is like the Plague Doctor skin. We were saying it's like, what was it? Bloodborne Daniel? I don't remember if we were saying. I never played Bloodborne, but yeah.
Plague Doctor Daniel.
It looks. I think this skin actually looks different.
Looking
looks
shadowy
actually unique.
as hell.
Like the Ava
Danny
skin.
Boy's got himself. This is kind of both kind of Bloodborne-y to me.
Oh, they both Bloodborne.
After
Jenny, I think Jenny is the best skin out of this bunch, in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of changes. I'd say this is. They haven't named this one yet, but I think it's gonna be like, yeah, like Mobster Jenny is what like Aesop suggested, or like Undercover. Yeah, I think Ava's skin is okay. I don't think it's the best skin out there, but I don't know. It is somewhat different, but the thing is, I don't know how much you're gonna notice it, because all I notice is Ava's hair when she walks around. Yeah, I think this one's the best skin. I don't know what you call this one, but this one's like Mobster Jenny.
These are all confirmed. This one is not confirmed name yet. So maybe, if you guys want to help me out with some names, maybe I can use one of those. You can call it Mobster Jenny, Capo Jenny, just like Lennox. Maybe that can be a theme. You can keep that together.
I don't know. Does this give me Capo Lennox vibes? I don't know. Very cool. I think you need like a furry coat, but I know her other coat has it.
There's a tool to use arrows. That would have been nice. Looking so.
This is more of like the traditional, like, I think of this as like the Spanish bullfighters. This is what this skin reminds me of a lot, like or at least like a cliche version of it from like movies. Like, I don't know, they actually dress like this. This is what like the movies do. So this is what it gives me vibes off of. That makes sense because he's
so fly.
Espanol, Spanish.
This is it. Really look at his music. First skin for.
Oh yeah, these are all first skins too, which is really good. The white skin, I don't know. This is like, I don't like it as much, or the red eyes kind of don't work with the white in my opinion. I don't know. They just stand out to me. But it is different, which is, I guess, good. But it looks like she's like in a nightgown. That's what it reminds me of.
Bianca! Little cute little Bianca. She's got her little parasol. She's gone to the, maybe she's friends with Kiara. Maybe she's I don't know, I'm looking at it.
Johan is literally just a recolor in my opinion. Like, they changed this like dark blue, like blackish to the white. It doesn't look that much different from the other skin.
Pristine. He looked a little skinnier than I thought. Maybe he's stretched. But he looked kind of like, what's that word? Pentecostal? I don't know what that means. He looks very like he moved up in the rank. a church on 9-year-old sister. But okay, looking fresh.
I like the Chloe skin a lot too. This is for me. So I don't know, hot take. I don't know. I think it's made Chloe. I like Nia skin. I do like the red, but I don't know. I've heard some people may not like the red as much and preferred like a different color, like a blue or something. But I don't know. I like the skin. Looks good. Blue.
Dude, Nina looks so cool with this. Nina looks so cool. That's a real cool looking Nina right there. It's like, oh, Chloe, I'm so sweet and nice and friendly. And then Nina's like, ah, shut up, idiot. I liked it, so we kind of scrapped that.
Cosplay Chloe.
But she was looking over. We won. Before we get, I would like for her to. I'm gonna reveal to you guys.
Okay, I actually wanted to listen this more, and then I'll just.
First time.
We'll break this down.
First time video.
No, there's
Are
a
you
video
ready?
first. Okay, let's see.
Can I get a drum roll for the season 5 video? Here we go.
Okay, here, I didn't realize the Daniel skin is the exclusive with this pack. I see. They're gonna make Plague Dr. Daniel exclusive. Okay. Oh yeah, what question did you ask Aesop, Devin? Yeah, the Kiara skin. I just wanted to pause it for the video to see. Oh yeah, that's a good question. Did they actually answer it? I have to see. I said no. I mean, what a surprise. Big. I'm not surprised though.
You wanna watch it a second time? Okay, so we'll watch it again later. So
I mean, the
you
trailer
can see
answered a lot of
live
questions people had.
right now on, let me pull this website up real fast to show you guys. The season 5 website is up.
Well, yeah, the reason why they don't consider NA is because we don't have a player base. So it's unfortunate that we don't. I wish they consider it more, to be honest, because KR is like a couple months behind our meta normally. That's what actually happens. So like we're seeing Adela nerfs now because KR is finally caught up to our meta that Adela is really strong. But we've been complaining about Adela for months, so they're always like a few months behind us. Eventually they're gonna catch on that like Lennox is strong. I mean, they've already started nerfing Lennox, so let's see. But then there's weird exceptions like Sylvia has always been strong, but they still haven't really changed her too much. So
where you can kind of check out everything that we have all together for you, with everything coming on, the shebang, if you want to see everything that we've got put together for you. So you can see the new skin line, the Spirit Hunters.
Honestly, I can't wait for the merch shop. Maybe I'm gonna splurge probably on the merch shop because I like merch and I like t-shirts. They have some cool t-shirts, so I'll probably get some, but I don't know. I have to see. The thing is, KR has better ping, so it looks like their micro might be better, but it could just be ping related. I'm not sure.
ISIL, Spirit Hunter Kiara, Spirit Hunter Hagen. It's lit. So, yep. So now we're back here. Whoa. Oh no. The Q&A. You know what? I don't even need this. So if you guys want to ask, I'm gonna pull up. Let's see here where we go to marketing.
Yeah, imagine you're Shuichi on like 0 to 2 ping, Demon, right? You're on like what, 20 ping or so? Imagine if your ping was so much lower. Oh, you're at 15 ping. Yeah, imagine if it was reduced to almost zero to, I don't know, 90% lower than what you currently have. You think, you know how much cleaner it would be, your Shoichi combo? But
I should. A lot of people also ask for marketing. We do have
rip.
some marketing stuff going on. We've got kind of some new marketing situations, some developments, some big stuff coming that I know a lot of people are asking about. But
okay, I just want to make things clear because people are like, oh, well, why don't you market more? You need to market more. The way that Korea, and I'll say even like Southeast Asia markets, is not the same as how North America markets. I think a lot of people confuse that. Like they see like, oh, they're only doing like paying for streamers or like that, like give us like actual like ads, like YouTube ads or I don't know, TV ads or whatever. Like that's not as traditional from my understanding. I could be complete, that's what I've read online, that's what I've heard from other people. If I'm not fully right on that, you can also just let me know. But they're very big onto influencer marketing, so which is what they've been doing a lot of, and that's like the more traditional Korean marketing. Be like, oh, we're gonna sponsor the streamer to play our game. That's more traditional. But when people think of our marketing, think of like billboards or like ads in front of like YouTube or like the TV or something like that. That's not as common, or as like, yeah, in like Korea or like Southeast Asia countries. But yeah, that's what I've just read online, and I could be, and like some other people mentioned it to me as well. I don't know. Well, I don't know what Faker is. Sorry. I don't know why this thing keeps popping up. It's annoying me. But yeah, I didn't want to go over the Q&A, and then I'm just gonna take a quick break, and then I'll play some normal games after.
that will be on the way. I will give more details as I get them. I'm not privy to share that with you just yet, but it will.
Marketing
it will be there.
Partner
So.
mention. I don't know what that means, but okay.
All right, so that's pretty much everything we have for you guys for season 5, at the minimum. You know, there's even more coming from what we've got going on, what we've got headed your way this season 5. We've got a whole lot of stuff. So we will if you're a little confused about also check this out. Oh wait, that's the wrong sleeve. Look at the thing. Look at this official very official fleece that I'm wearing here. Very nice.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, sure.
Let's see here. Let's answer some questions. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask about season 5, about stuff that we covered, about the new mode, about anything that you'd like to see? The pack says exclusive skin. Yes. So as far as I know, the Daniel skin will be limited to the season 5 pack, which unlocks everything that we will be releasing in season 5, barring the battle pass. So the battle pass and the season 5 pack will be like separate. As far as I know, the Daniel skin, Plague Dr. Daniel, is only in the pack.
I don't know why they're making the Daniel skin exclusive, to be honest. It's because he doesn't have a skin already. So if you play Daniel, yeah, it's either you buy the pack or you get no skin. Sorry, Daniel players. But...
So keep an eye for that. Camera grip, I've brought up. It's on the table. We are...
camera grip, a lot of people have been asking for that. Because it's basically, I've heard it's in like other MOBA type games. Again, I don't play other MOBAs, so I'm not too familiar with it. But I know it's been a feature a lot of people have been asking for.
We are talking about it. Watch me time out Nova Siva. And so it is something that we are talking about. It's something that we're working on, that we will like to get together. I've mentioned it. It's something that we are going to put together. Wilson Pillow, dude, I'm working on the Wilson Pillows. I wasn't in charge of the Wilson Pillows, so I can't tell you. I've got a couple weeks.
I mean, only in NA, you probably have like 50 people, maybe like 80. We'll do not even 80. 50 people that got the Wilson pillows. It's like a minor thing to like really talk
about. We got the Wilson pillow, but they're coming your way. The Ardo we talked about, JP Rosalie we talked about. Cobalt Reserve is not the name. Please get it right if you're gonna ask me a question. Cobalt Protocol will be still, the details are still in the air of what characters, how it will work. So we'll get some more explicit details for everything about, you know, like what characters will happen, if you can have like I can't know on both teams, things like that. Augments will, the Korea stream talked more on augments, but like I said earlier, I didn't want to touch too much on it when there's a diversity of opinions. So I will.
Is there a really diversity opinion? I think I mentioned it earlier. I swear people with like red sprite, all right? That's what he's saying. There's diversity of it. Other people who actually like red sprite, I know like, okay, sorry, Don. Like I know Nathapon really likes red sprite because there's not really another augment for him, but I don't think red sprite is good for the game. What, you want the old red sprite? I don't know. It's like the new red sprite is kind of like good and bad because you can proc it more times, and so it's not the base damage that does more, it's like the flat amp. They're gonna remove red sprite. I know that's what they're gonna actually do. That's the answer. Is it actually less damage? Because you're gonna, if you stack more flat amp, you're actually gonna end up doing more damage at some point. Well, yeah, they don't want it to be a nuke, that's all. But yeah, they're gonna remove it because they know it's a bad idea because they don't like the nuking thing.
The augments will change. We will probably add new ones, kind of continue to adjust them because balance is again a big.
Oh, I'm Big Bread. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it.
A big part of what we're going to be looking at season 5. Loot distribution will remain a little easier. I believe it will kind of be fixed to have a more. The loot distribution will still have just more items. It's going to be easier to get your stuff together.
Oh, wait, let me go back. What did I miss there?
For what we're going to be looking at season 5. Loot distribution will remain.
I wish you read the questions out loud, like so I can actually know what the questions are.
A little easier, I believe. It will kind of be fixed to have a more. The loot distribution will still have just more items. It's going to be easier to get your stuff together.
Yeah, okay, so I already mentioned it before. I don't want to go too on it, but I think what's going to happen is going to make paths easier because they're going to have more items per loot set, which will allow more quote-unquote greedy builds to go on. So like right now, as an example, for Linux, in like the standard route, you need 2 nails in factory, but you're only guaranteed 1. But if they increase the container size, they're going to have it like, oh, you can guarantee to get 2 nails. So it lets that build like guaranteed, right? And they can have a lot more greedier builds because they can take more resources from a particular zone, and it might end up we'll have to see. And I think a lot of builds will go online faster too. Yeah, you can have a freaking 5 feather build. Nice. I don't. Okay, yeah, Nathan got nervous because he was griefing early. That's why people don't like it. They don't like griefers. That's all. But Nathan's not that strong. Who griefer? What? All the Nathan's grief early. What do you mean? You go Avenue, TP, and you just grief it with green weapon? I've seen Kira do it so many times. You've done it too, Devin. Not lately. I'm saying beforehand, before they nerfed it. No, I mean, it's a thing in Korea too. You're not the only ones who sure do it. They say they don't bounce off NA, remember? So whatever KR does. And KR's is like a big griefers, so.
Moving around items is hard. If you move one thing, it can impact a lot of stuff and has like a big ripple effect. If you move like when we move bandage, something used to be, I think something used to be in hospital, we moved it out of hospital, and Stallion Metal, it kind of is a big. It
was Slippers, by the way. They moved Slippers out of hospital, moved them to dock. That's what happened.
Shift in meta and the gameplay and everything, and so just moving items is a lot of work, so we like to be very careful before we actually move items. Yeah, Slippers were around there.
Okay.
And that was the whole crit build. You could get full crit just by like 6 items. Dock, factory, hospital.
What he was talking about was Stallion medals. If I remember correctly, they used to be in Chapel. But this was like before my time, like before I was even playing this game. And they moved that to Temple or Beach. I don't know, one of those 2 zones before. So you can finish like full crit on that route.
Somewhere else. I don't know.
But that was a long time ago. That was before.
And then it moved to Temple.
Like 2020.
And it made a little bit. Hololive, yeah, I want to do more Hololive stuff. Hololive is great. You know, I mean, it's kind of crazy that Crony from I'd like to. It was either Melbourne or Sydney. Used to have a server in Oceanic server. I would like to. I do want to do stuff for more like Asia 2 Oceanic stuff. We used to have a server in Australia.
I don't remember this Australia server. It must have been before I played the game, or I just wasn't in the know exactly when they had the Australia server. They had the Hong Kong servers with the one I remember, but then they got rid of that, and because people are just playing KR. But it screwed over like people in Australia, New Zealand, I guess more like that side like Philippines, Thailand.
And it wasn't great. We had one, it was either Melbourne or Sydney, and it didn't go well. It's just the quality of the ping in the server, like Australia's big, and it just wasn't ideal. So it's stuff that we would like to put together. We used to also have Singapore was our original like Southeast Asia server, and
they actually had a Singapore server before. That's what people keep asking for, so I'm surprised they already had one.
The people in Southeast Asia weren't playing on it because they were getting better ping on Korea at sometimes, so it was kind of grabbed. Yuki skin is coming season 5, I believe. Not 100% sure. I think.
Okay, they showed the Yuki skin in like that trailer, so obviously it is coming in season 5.
It's in the pack. It'll be in season 5. You can see on the website. It'll be in the season 5 pack. You can pick up. It's called Midnight Shinobi Yuki, or MS Yuki, because you know he's green and black. What do we know is green and black? You know, I'm not gonna say anything. With Skaz's departure, we're still working. I still want to do stuff for ERCS, ERCL. We have some partners. I'd like.
Yeah, I'll just make a note here for people who don't know. Like Skaz is not working for them anymore. Yeah, and he's from my understanding he's moving on to like Riot, and so there's no competitive league right now being run for North America. So the Winter Blast was like the last one, and so he's gonna explain more than me, but yeah, he's just left, so there's no one running any tournaments in North America under like official for Nimble Neuron.
You know, Cacao and some other partners of ours to kind of handle it, but it's tricky kind of getting everything organized and timeline synced up and everything, but it's something that I will be doing. One thing for certain is that I will not make Brandong any part of it, so we can not worry about that.
Okay, sure, okay. Yeah, he's moving on to, I think, Riot. I could be wrong, but I'm like 90% sure that's what I've heard.
Cadetskin, no hints yet. Not the phone camera. I cannot talk more on stuff that is not readily available yet. So I can talk a bit about what we saw in S5, like things in detail about, like I said, bug fixes that we're totally dedicating a team to. The old battle pass that you can buy. I think, did I mention that the battle pass activation, if you want to buy an old battle pass, it's 300 NP. I think it's going to be the tentative price. But yes. ER partners, I can't really touch on as well because it's mostly handled by Cacao. I'd like to give like a partner emote deal where everybody gets all the partners can get their emotes.
Yeah, I haven't heard your question yet, damn it.
Return something, have to drop something like that. I'd like to do something like that, but it will. We'll see how I can do.
Yeah, the ER partner thing right now is a complete mess. Just from what I've heard, I don't know. I don't want to go into too much detail from it, but the way they've handled Cacao's handled it, I've not fully agree. I don't fully agree with it. Yeah, what Cacao's doing. Yeah.
Lore in Eternal Return, yes. I would like to add more lore. Like we're starting with more with the tooltips. As the characters expand, the lore expands as well. So there's a lot of stuff to do with it. But I'd like to get some more lore rather than just like one paragraph for the story and then one line, maybe some voice lines. You know, all the voice lines kind of blend together. Like they go to the alley and like it's an arrow here. So I'd like to get a little bit more variety there. The pass will continue on from where you left off. As far as I know, you won't restart the pass. Custom game customization, I cannot touch on much yet. That's not in the scope of what.
Well, there's not much for me to add on to here. That's all.
I love mashed potatoes. I love refrigerators. Pingate. We also in the Korea server we mentioned a bit about improvements that we're making to skill delay and movement and kind of like just the actual feel of the game, like skills and auto attack, skill canceling, skill delay. We're improving it, and it won't. You'll feel it in higher pings. It should help a bit, kind of like our previous.
Yeah.
Our previous.
Yeah. The previous optimization they did was really good. Like I felt the difference between the two, and
adjustments we made maybe a few months ago. I don't remember the patch, and that was so. Those we're talked about more on the Korea stream because it's more. When the ping is 2, it's more noticeable. So yeah. NA balance for NA. It's not like it's not like it's not considered. Like a lot of the balance.
Here's your question, Devin.
Our whole balance philosophy is like we take the data, we take the feedback, we take everything that we can. I can't just go and say like, hey, NA wants to nerf Shukai, Korea wants not to nerf Shukai. I can't just make it happen, you know. There's a lot of stuff to it. So things like back in the day when ping was worse and it felt worse, like Luke was doing pretty well in NA, and there was a Luke buff coming, and so that was kind of I was like we should let's double back on that one a bit, so stuff like that. But I can't just purely focus burping on NA, but buffing on NA.
Well, okay, I understand that they can't purely focus on dealing with NA numbers, but at least say like, I don't know, do some like more, I don't know, consideration, or like at least look at like some of the NA stats, because clearly it's not going to fully lie to you. Like an example, if you have like last season you had 2 Lennoxes in top 5, that clearly says that like Lennox is strong and they actually need some adjustments, and so it's not like out of the it shouldn't be completely off the table to look at like NA stats and be like, oh, this character is strong, like should be like changed, or like should not be changed because it's not doing well in KR, right? Because Lennox is not a popular Korea character, like in Korea. Okay, that's a yes and no. Actually, I'm looking at the stats, she's actually starting to get a lot more popular, but originally she wasn't. Her popularity's increased in the last like couple of months, so that's why they've been starting to nerf her more and more.
Weapon variety was kind of dropped. I mentioned that earlier in the stream.
Yeah, you mentioned they're not going to do more weapons for a while. That's the answer.
Character interaction voice lines, I would still like to totally implement as well. My people are telling me to wrap it up, so we'll do a couple more minutes. UI changes.
He had to end it here.
It's not like it's not an easy thing to make UI changes, but like you're gonna get a little bit like that.
UI changes, sure.
More game modes. It's taking a long time to kind of get this new game mode where we want, so it will be probably further down the line. But I mean, it's fun. The new game modes are fun to make, so it's just hard.
I don't know if the game needs more game modes. It's just the thing I'm worried about, especially in like, imagine like EU, like Europe, right? Like if you keep adding more game modes, the player base is going to be split more and more. And for a region, you know, NA is already hard to get games on like squads. And like imagine like adding like 2 or 3 extra game modes, like it's going to split the player base so much. At this point in time, I don't think it's a good idea, but maybe down the line when you actually have more of a player base to support each mode, then it'd be fine. But we'll have to see how this one game mode is and see if it actually has like a player base that plays it.
Is there any plans for tackling the diminishing player base issue? Nah, just gonna let it go. We're not gonna add any new stuff. We're just gonna let it go.
So he's not even following.
The time to kill.
I'm like,
TTK.
Okay, wait. I thought he was gonna follow it up with something because like, it's clearly sarcasm, but he just okay. But you could have given us some. Okay, whatever.
Diverse thing in Eternal Return. Shorter TTK feels bad to be on the receiving end of it when you die quickly, but longer feels bad when you get to the end and there's 100 people all kind of pushing together for the final zones, and like it's tough to find a balance. We are working on solidifying the TTK. It's tricky. I can't. I'd like. Yeah, it's tricky. I want it to, like, I can't just say like I want it to be balanced, you know. I want it to be good, but a nice medium where I think a little on the shorter side for me personally is preferable rather than having it be longer and drawn out. But that's just my personal opinion.
Now, TCK is an interesting thing because if you make it too short, that makes burst mages too strong. But if you make it too long, it makes sustained characters too strong, right? So I think it's too short right now. But if you could like bump it or like make it slightly longer, if you make it too short, it also has less time for like reactions or like outplays. But too long, it just gets boring as well. So it needs a balance for sure, and I just think currently it's a little too quickly. They just need to increase it, either like get back a bit more HP or increase people's defenses a little bit. Something or like a combination thereof.
Will we ever hear about the attempts of hacking? Yes. We're working on it. I mentioned it earlier, but it's just hard.
The what?
Will we ever hear about the attempts of hacking? Yes.
Of hacking in the game. Okay. Yeah.
Plans on fixing new player adoption interference. Yes, I touched on that earlier in the stream about what we're kind of doing to help new players get into it, with kind of the new looting system and more intuitive ideas. Because people skip the tutorials. I could be like, hey, if you do the tutorial, I'll give you $600. I'd be like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna skip it. I skip tutorials all the time. Like I get that.
Yeah, some people skip the tutorial because they want to learn on their own. So making a bad tutorial is like a half solution, because if half your player base is skipping it, it's not going to help the real solution, right?
Glove nunchucks getting anything weapon mastery distance? Maybe. The weapon mastery changes are still being discussed and confirmed, so the weapon mastery additions are not, for every item is not set yet. Drag camera I've touched on as well already. It's something that we're going to work on.
They're working on it. That's the answer.
Immortal ranking gets changed to where NA gets immortal. You can't change it per server, and it's just part of the disparity.
Okay. Asking about mortal things in NA is like the 0.1% of NA. Is it really an issue? You're gonna have like 5 people in NA who really care about this question. Just saying.
Between Korea having a ton of players and NA having not as many. So it's not like, if you change it, it will kind of throw things out of whack. So
yeah, and then you can cross server play, so that's also a thing. So
good to find a happy medium. Roadmap characters, as far as I know, I think there will be a delay on some of them. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, that was a weird pause frame. Okay, so they're gonna delay some of the characters. That's interesting. I remember them saying, like saying it's still gonna be like 2 weeks, but it makes sense they're gonna delay because they said they're gonna stop doing bi-weekly, but the Trello says it's still gonna be bi-weekly, so I guess they're gonna push some of them back then.
Current roadmap characters or future characters, but there will be a delay to new characters. So, is there a plan to give existing characters new? I already talked about that one. Normal matchmaking improves when newer players don't get matched. Normal matchmaking is rough also because it's the happy medium of people that don't want to wait too long, or people that don't want to match against high tier players. So it's rough. The matchmaking algorithm is tended to like match people near you and then kind of widen out as it goes on. But people just want to play, you know. They just want to play. They want to queue up, go again, go next. So it's a tricky medium when the player base isn't enormous.
I already talked about normal matchmaking, so I don't want to go more into it because I already did mention it a bunch.
Is there going to be any changes or additions to objectives? Probably, but not that I can talk about yet.
Objective changes, probably. That seems fair because currently they need to fix stalemating with objectives. That's what I really hope they do as well. Like where people all just like wait, take an objective, because you're losing weapon mastery and you're losing like getting good resources as well. So they really need to figure out a better solution to objectives.
Extended beginner queue could work, but it could work. Maybe I can look into that as well. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I have for you guys today. I can't go much longer on the Q&A because my people, if you can hear Slack, that's people, you can ring the ringing. I don't know if my desktop audio is muted. It is. Okay, but I'm getting a lot of messages. They're like, hey.
Okay, anyways, Isa, that's the end of it.
Let's go here. So thank you guys.
Okay, so that's the end of it. Yeah, you have to just let me know what your thoughts on the dev hour, quote unquote hour. It's longer than an hour. Yeah, I will hopefully see you at the next video. Goodbye.